bullshit, man. Saying, when you people causing all kinds of shit all the time. Fucking sickening already. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Fall River Media News. I'm your host, Dave Mead, and my co-host Annalisa. She'll be on just a minute. I got her backstage on a string. We got a few things that we got a lot of things we're going to talk about tonight, and probably might be a little bit past 9:30. So I don't know. We'll see. So I'm going to bring my co-host on with me, and let's get down to business. That's what they say, right? Mm-hmm. Yep. You heard that.
Yep.
You heard that. It's me and you tonight, so it's going to be me and you.
Okay. Yeah.
God, nice and quiet. Yeah. I don't want to say nothing on the live stream, but I sent you a message earlier.
Yeah, I said it. He's still talking about me?
Yeah, kind of.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I told him, I said, look, you got something you said to her, I don't want to hear it.
He's got nothing to say. I don't want to hear it either. Yeah. I don't really care. He can think whatever he wants to.
Yeah, so he said to me that he tried to tell you that he agreed with you. I don't know.
I don't care. Look, I don't mind having a discourse. This is what people don't understand. They take it personally. They get all like, oh my God, what did I say? I'm not like that. You can say whatever you want. Okay. And I did not mean to come across as though I did not agree with him. But what I did not like was that he was judging me. He was saying, you're judging me, and I'm like, I can't do it. And that's why I left. It had nothing to do with his opinion. It had to do with him saying, you're judging me. You're not this, you're this. That's what I don't like. I never seen him before in my life. He doesn't know me. And it's like, you're the one that's judging me. I'm not saying anything about you. It's some people you just can't have a take it personally.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I found. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to. And for me, it's like you said, Dave, not to attack or offend or judge somebody. I mean, that now you're going down a path that's like, my wall is up. You don't know me. I don't know who you think you are at this point. You said one sentence and you're this, you're that. And it's like, that's what I didn't like. That's what I didn't like. It's not got nothing to do with I agree with you or no, it wasn't a discourse. We were not even talking about immigration or illegals. He's the one that brought up the ICE. So he's the one that started it. He's the one that started it. And it's like, fine, if you want to talk about ICE, but it's like, I don't want to hear why are they wearing masks. It's like, I don't care. I don't care. Hi, Joe.
Oh, well, looks like Eric wants to come on.
Who does?
My friend Eric.
Eric.
The one that used to be a security guard now at the bus terminal.
Oh yeah, I was thinking about him. I haven't seen him for a while.
Yeah, he wants to come on, so I'm waiting for him to come on. But I like today. I was saying I looked up some businesses, some business, and I remember my dad telling me about SealSac, the SealSac company that we had here in Fall River, and and he and my father back then, my father always told me, he said to me, he goes, Dave, he says, the minimum wage. Well, when I was younger, he said I said, wow, the minimum wage is $2. I said, holy mackerel, $2 an hour. That's all you got. I says, he explained to me, how how they import, how the how they import the beans. Hello, Eric. Um, and how they import the beans. And
Doing okay, Joe. How are you? Go ahead, Dave. Sorry.
yeah, so that's right. So so how they import the beans and stuff. So what they do is they have a machine, okay, that makes the beans, and they put it in the seal sack and they wrap them up and they ship them to farmers. They ship them to farmers, and it's like, wow.
What Beans? Beans? Is that what you said?
Beans, yes, beans.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, my father told me that. I says, wow. I says, and he goes, yeah, and he told me what the minimum wage was back then. The minimum wage was like $2 at the time. I says,
When
wow.
was that?
And I don't know, a long time ago,
That
decades ago.
was a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So and and my grandmother used to work for curtain wall factory, Union Mills over here in Fall River at one time. So she was back then, that was a union too as well. You know what I'm saying? She used to work for the union over there too. And her and my aunt every morning used to go to work together. My grandmother used to work, and my aunt used to work. Both of them used to work like 60, 70 hours a week, sometimes 80 hours a week. You know what I'm saying, over there. And but my aunt owned a house up on Plymouth Avenue one point, and I'll tell you, the mortgage back then and the water bill back then was tremendous back then. Okay, so I mean, and yeah, I was like, wow. They showed me because every time I would go to my aunt's house up there, and she would say, "Hey, why don't you come up here and have something to eat?" I go up there and I'd have something to eat, and we sit down and have a conversation. And she would tell me, she would show me her water bills. She would show me her mortgage of the house and everything. I'll be like, "Holy mackerel, damn!" I said, "This is this cheap." Yeah, well, I mean, we talked about.
That's yours.
Yep. Okay. We talk about mortgage, right? So we talk about mortgage. We talk
Oh,
about water.
50-year mortgages?
Yeah. So we talk about 50 years mortgages. We talk about 10 years, 10-year mortgages. But the
15.
mortgage back, yeah. So, but the mortgage back then was phenomenal for what my aunt was telling me. My aunt used to have a 20-year mortgage instead of a 50-year mortgage.
There was no 50-year mortgage back then, Dave. It was
No, no.
either a 30-year mortgage. It's probably a 30-year mortgage.
Well, she had 20. She had a 20-year mortgage.
Oh, okay.
She
I
had
never
a
heard.
20-year mortgage back then. And let me tell you something, and the mortgage back then was phenomenal compared to now.
What do you mean phenomenal?
Because it was 20 years, you know what I'm saying? So
Was it pretty standard back then?
huh?
Was it pretty standard back then?
It was pretty standard back then, back
It was
back
pretty
in those
what?
days. Pretty standard.
Oh, the 20-year, but I don't know what you mean by phenomenal. You mean what do you mean? It was better?
It was the best. It was better. In other words,
It was
what
better.
yeah, well, it was phenomenal. It was better. In other words, it was better. You know what I'm saying? It was standard back then. That's what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say.
well, what do you mean? Like the payments were what? Are you saying it's affordable? It was affordable to
Uh,
be able to buy a home back then? Because now it's
yeah,
difficult.
yes, it was affordable back then. Yes, so it was affordable back then. So Eric, are you there? Hello, Eric, speak up.
Was she working 80 hours a week?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yes. Hello, Eric.
Hey, what's going on, bro?
What's happening? We got two Erics over here.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with the other one.
Yeah, I don't know what's
He's
up with
got
the
a
other Eric.
twin. And we don't know
Oh, there we
that.
go.
Okay, yeah. No, we have a twin today. Yeah. But before we get started, I want to wish everybody happy Thanksgiving and Merry Christmas, and I want to get it all out there today. So I want to wish everybody a happy New Year, a happy New Year. Hope and pray that everything changes. So I know Annalisa was talking about something earlier today because I know I jumped on her live stream. So I jumped on your live stream. I remember.
What was I talking about? Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah, you were talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene, and you were talking about
50-year mortgages and the eviction kings and the real estate market and Zionism and I go all over the place.
yeah,
But it was
she's
mostly about Marjorie Taylor Greene and what she stands for, which is why I brought up the 50-year mortgage and the real estate and the H-1B visas. So I was showing her page on X and what she posts. And it's all about what she wants to do for this country. She has introduced two bills. Thomas Massey has introduced, I know, a bill and maybe others concerning the beef. We were talking about that with CJ and Chip.
yeah.
With the beef. So that's Thomas Massey, and he's a cattle rancher, and he would like to put labels on the beef that we buy in the supermarket, where the beef actually comes from, the point of origin, because nobody knows where this meat is coming from.
Yeah.
And I don't want to buy meat from Mexico or Argentina or Brazil because I don't know what's in it. So I'm not buying it.
No, I'm not buying it either.
No.
So I'm not buying it either. Well, tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm going to be going. We're going to be going to have a Thanksgiving dinner tomorrow at the place tomorrow. So Friday, I'll come on at 6:30 as soon as I get out of work.
But you're coming on Friday night, right? Isn't that what you said?
Yeah.
Friday night.
Yeah, Friday night. Yes, because we were invited. I forgot the name of the place now. Trying to think.
Nick Stone said that he's sorry he can't watch tonight, Dave.
Don't worry. Don't be.
Long.
Don't be sorry, Nick. Don't be sorry that he. Yeah.
So Dave, on the recount, I guess that happened on just that day. I guess they were able to figure out. So Boomer actually ended up getting 6 more votes.
Yeah, he did. He got 6 more votes out of that. He did.
What about? But they didn't say anything about Paul Coogan. So did he lose 6 votes?
I think I don't know. I think Mayor Paul Coogan lost 6 votes, but Boomer gained 6 votes.
Right. So what happened to Coogan? Did he gain or did he stay the same?
Coogan stood the same, and that's how he won the election.
Okay, so he won by, James is saying he won by 219 instead of 225. So Coogan did not gain any votes. He stayed.
All right, so yeah, Coogan stayed the same. Okay. Coogan did not. So yeah, So Coogan stayed the same. At that point.
I wonder where he got the 6 extra votes from, because that's kind of interesting. Hello, Adeline. I think that's Adeline Muggleton.
Adeline, yep. Adeline's she always watches my show all the time. She likes my show.
So
Everybody.
I think that that's interesting that he ended up picking up 6 more votes. So I don't know what happened there. How did they miss the 6 votes?
Well,
he probably knows how Amaral. He probably knows what happened. I mean, where those 6 came from.
They did it. They did this. They actually did this before. At the last election before, they actually did this before. When the city election came up between mayors and city councils, they actually did it before. So,
well, no, it said that Fall River hasn't done one in a very long time.
No.
What do you mean, no?
No. Well, Fall River had one time. Okay, when Mayor Paul Coogan and Sam Sutter was colliding together at one point, they had machine screw ups too over there. They had machine screw ups. Even when Linda Pereira ran against Jazel Correa, too, and they had ballots. They had ballot screw ups too. Ballots were going in late. Machines are screwing up and everything. It's happened. It's happened a lot. You know what I'm saying? So,
For mayoral or the mayoral race?
From the mayoral race, yes.
I didn't that always happened. I'm gonna look at that. Hold on.
Well, that was long ago. You know what I'm saying? So.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so that happened before. So, like the machines messing up, the ballots, not getting in right away. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, well, actually, Correa Jazel asked for a recount in 2019.
There you go. Jazel asked for a recount in 2019. Yes.
Even though it was a very wide gap, but this one was not very wide.
No, this was a very close race. You know what I'm saying? At some point. Well, even Mayor Paul Coogan said, even the mayor said it. That he nearly got beat by a Republican. You know what I'm saying?
I'm telling you, that's a very slim margin.
That is
very, very slim margin that he won by. He did not win the majority of the vote. He doesn't even come close to a majority. He barely squeezed out this win. He's lucky he won. If more people had come out to vote, Boomer would have won.
Of course.
Yeah, exactly, James. It's like, can you imagine if 500 more people showed up to vote and say even 300 voted for Boomer, he would have won.
Of course. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, maybe they would have voted for less than 20%, right? It is abysmal.
It is abysmal.
But I'm telling that's very close. And I don't think Paul Coogan is too happy about it, because if he decides, I don't know what Boomer's going to do. I don't think he's conceded. So I don't know what he's going to do. But Paul Coogan has to be going in there shaking his head. Like, what happened? He has to be.
What just happened here?
Hey, David. Didn't Coogan say that he wasn't going to go again next year because he barely won this vote?
Coogan says he's not going to run. He's not running in 2 years. He's not running in 2027 because Coogan almost barely lost against a Republican. So
maybe he did lose against a Republican. Who knows?
Yes.
My thing is I feel like it was too close of a race to even call. I think there were machines did definitely mess up, but I feel like it was rigged down inside when they did the recount. That's just
Yeah.
how I feel about it. Just
Yeah.
because of the corruption in the city, I feel
Right.
like, they should have handpicked people and been like, okay, do a recount. Let's get the right numbers. And I feel like Boomer would have won that.
I feel like
Yeah,
that too.
that I wonder about that too, because he, like I said, barely won, and I'm telling barely, barely 200 votes is not a lot of votes.
No.
Yeah.
It's not. It's even with the 20% turnout. Not
Well,
if more people had showed up, who knows how it would have turned out.
well, we were hoping at least a 30% turnout. I'm saying a little bit more than we got. You know what I'm saying? I was hoping a 30% turnout. So
Well, that's a third, so yeah.
I was hoping. You know what I'm saying? We're lucky. We're lucky. We even got 20%. I mean, look what happened the last time in the last election. Okay.
It was
What?
more than the primary. You had
Yeah.
less than the primary. You had a little bit more in the general.
Yeah.
I just can't believe there's so many people out there that actually still don't really vote. Like it's an option. It shouldn't be an option. That's your vote. You should be able to go out there, voice your opinion, and say what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we
But you
did.
know what? I'm glad that they went out though to vote. The last election from 2023 was only 11%. Oh my God!
Yeah.
Wow, that's
And
really
that's what I was talking about. The 11%. That was really low at that time. We're lucky we got the 20%. Okay.
Oh, of
We're
course.
lucky we got it. But we're the people. Okay. We're the people. We are the taxpayers, right? And and we're just getting. I'm just getting so tired of government. Okay. From mayors to presidents to Congress to the state. Okay. Okay. I'm getting tired of these people fighting back and forth. Okay. And not helping us and not doing anything for us. Okay. Well, Donald Trump is helping us out, so I'm going to say that. But I'm getting tired of the government, fighting back and forth all the time. Okay, so while you guys are fighting back and forth, how is that helping us? You know what I'm saying? It's not. So
Well, that brings up the point, Dave. Well, they're arguing and we're all struggling.
yes,
We're all
well.
struggling because of them.
What arguing are you talking about?
no, the government, like the mayor or the city council arguing with each other when
Oh,
we're out
those
here
guys.
struggling.
They're always arguing. Yeah.
So, I mean, if them people are going to continue on arguing the way they do, then you know something? Look at, we are the people. We pay taxes, so we are the government. Okay, we are the government, and they answer to us. We don't answer to them. Okay, so if we can get the majority of the people, okay, let's have a showdown with the government. I love a good showdown with the government.
Showdown? What do you mean?
Well, I mean, in other words, hey, look, you know what? We're tired of you. Okay, we're tired of you arguing. We're tired of you, complaining about this and that. But you're not listening to what we have to say.
Let me tell you something. You know what, Dave? Like I said before, Boomer did not lose by a lot of votes.
No,
Okay.
we didn't.
And Coogan did not win by a lot of votes. So, and if Coogan is saying that he's not going to run in 2 years, then he's not going to give a crap. In other words, he's saying, well, you know what? I might have lost by like 200 votes, but it really doesn't matter because in 2 years, I'm not going to run anyway.
Yeah. Good evening, Corey Reynolds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello, Corey. So maybe that's true, maybe that's not true, but I think the mayor now, I don't think he can just go in. That is, if he continues with being a mayor. Let's say he does, and he's goes into his office. I don't think he can do what he did the past 2 years. I don't think it's going to be that easy for him
Nope.
because 20% of the people showed up.
Yeah.
80%, I don't know where they are, where their heads are, who knows, but they didn't show up to vote, so they can't say anything.
The heads are up their ass. That's what it is.
Right. So the 20% are the ones that I say can legitimately give an opinion, and Coogan does not have a lot of leeway here with the 20% that voted. He did not win by a landslide. So I don't think his agenda, whatever that is right now, is going to go very well.
Nope. It's not.
With what they have written on their windows on the car. What do they write in their windows in the car? What do you mean, Corey?
Corey, what do you mean by I am so sick of this person that works at our town office and town here with was they have written on their windows and on their cars. So what is that?
What did they
Tell us.
write?
What did they
Yeah.
write?
Want to talk about the rent control? Oh my gosh, you guys are going to have a rent control? Oh God. That's exactly
Yeah.
what Mass needs. That has will be harder for people to get right. It would be a
Oh,
test.
he
It
says to
says
fight.
fight fascism? Oh God.
Yep. Fight fascism. Yeah.
Wow. Talk about a liberal nut job.
Liberal nut jobs, yeah. I mean, some of these people are nut jobs, I'll tell you.
And also works at the post office. Well, now you know where that person stands.
You don't want that person going delivering mail to your house.
And the Bible, out of our laws, hate isn't holy. I don't know where it says that. I don't know. It does not. The Bible does not say hate isn't holy. You're making that up. Also works. The police and town said there's nothing we can do. No. Yeah. Well, no. Of course not. That's freedom of speech, even though they do work for the town. And that's Coogan's job, and Coogan's not going to do anything because probably Coogan agrees with that.
Of course.
Do you see how these people now come out of the woodwork because the election was so close? The election was so close.
Yeah.
Okay. It was very, very, very close. There's no room for Coogan and his cohorts to breathe here when he goes back.
Oh, yeah, he wants to talk about the rent control. I saw that too myself.
I said,
I
are you
don't know.
serious? Northup was, yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, you know
I don't-
why? You know why, Corey? Because they're afraid. These people, the progressives and that are on the left, do this when they're afraid. That's what they do. This is like trying to get their power back and their control back, and they're threatening with this, that. Don't pay attention to it, Corey. Don't even say anything.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's not worth
You know.
Leave them alone.
Well, this is what I want to tell Corey. Corey Reynolds, you know something? If they say something to you, record them. You know what I'm saying? Record them for your own protection. That's what you do. So that way
I don't know. Who knows if this person is throwing away the ballots or not? We don't, if you have proof, that's one thing, but you can't really go around, saying that if you really don't know, because you can get in trouble.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what? Everybody's questioning that. And it's a great question, by the way, because Boomer did not lose by a lot. And who knows? And Eric said the same thing. that it was rigged.
It was. Of course, it was rigged.
So everybody's wondering the same thing: was it rigged? You know what? That's all. And those are all good things that people should be worrying or wondering about. What did happen, and how come it was only? How come Boomer got 6 more votes? How did that happen?
That's a good question. 6 more votes. How did he get 6 more votes?
That
Well,
wasn't
not
it?
only that, it's just 6 votes. You gonna tell me he only got just 6 votes? There's no
Right.
freaking way it's just 6 votes.
No, you're right. I agree.
And that could be too. And I'm sure Boomer's thinking the same thing, that it was rigged, because that night he said he was in the lead. So his numbers, what he was adding up, was not matching up with
Right.
what they were saying publicly. So
Yeah, because
he
I
knows.
remember
Yeah,
watching it, and he was in the
right.
lead in three or four different areas of the city. And then next thing you know, I go on there, and Coogan's in the lead. And I'm like, whoa, that only took a couple seconds.
Right. Exactly. Yep. Yeah. And again, I believe you can go to the machines and take a look, because they're not supposed to touch them after a certain period of time. After they've been used, like they were used in this election, they can't touch them. They're not supposed to. They're not supposed to touch them after a certain amount of time. And I don't know. It might be the machines. It could be the machines, because most people ask for a recount, right? But I don't know of anybody that actually goes into the machines and sees what happened.
Yeah,
Yeah, something went on. Yeah.
Well,
You know,
there's 2 ways they could do it. They could
Yeah.
rig the machine so that way it always comes up Paul Coogan,
Right.
or
Right.
when they do the recount by hand, people are scratching off and they're saying, "Oh, Boomer
Yes.
didn't get this one, Boomer didn't get that one," but it's
Right.
clearly scratched in for Boomer. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So
Yeah, it switches the vote. So it could be programmed that the machines might, say, "Oh, here's another vote for Boomer. Here's another vote for Boomer. He's got 10 votes in a row. That's got to stop.
right,
The next 10 have to be, or 15 have to be for Coogan." They can program things like that. They can do those things.
yeah, they can.
So I mean, it's not just Fall River. I really think this whole thing is going on in Massachusetts. Something is going on
Yeah.
with the machines. I think it's the machines, because it's way too easy to manipulate. Machines are
Yep.
way too easy to
Well,
manipulate.
they once before they send the machines out, I'll bet you I can almost guarantee that they fix them. I'm saying they
Right. They're not
I can-
supposed to, exactly. They're not supposed to touch them, but you don't know.
no.
But like I
Yeah.
said, when an election like this that's so close and the numbers don't match, like Boomer said, and if the
There's something
recount
wrong.
and if the recount gets 6 votes, something's up. Something's up. Something's up, and it's got to be the machines. Because they didn't find anything with the mail-in ballots. Did the 6 votes come in from the mail-in ballots, or did it come from, the machine? Did the machine make a mistake, or was it done intentionally? That's now you're getting into something else. Now you're talking about something else.
yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
think
They gotta do something to fix this. I
Yes.
don't know what they gotta do, but it's like it's federal at that point.
Is it?
I would assume so. No,
I
because
would
you're
assume-
voting.
Well,
Well,
it is federal because now.
How is it federal?
Well,
No.
because when you're voting, when you got the ballots out there and you're having people go out there and vote, I most definitely think it is federal because
No, it's not, because it's not a federal election. No.
So then it has to do with the state. So why
Yes.
isn't the like I feel like it's just rigged because it's the state of Massachusetts.
Yes, it
To be
is.
honest with you,
I agree.
I feel like it's the whole state of Mass. Like Annalisa said before, it's the whole state of Mass.
It's the
Yeah.
whole state. Yeah.
Yep.
It is.
Because it's a liberal state. We live in a liberal
And-
state.
No, it's got nothing to do with it. It doesn't matter. You know, you got to follow. You got to follow the will of how the people vote and not rig the machines. It is rigged. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
It's rigged, and I think it's the machines. It's got to be something for him to get 6 more votes. So something's up. If it came out the same, we're probably asking. We would be asking the same question. Like, how could it be the same?
You know something though, I feel like they put on the six more votes to try and convince people that it wasn't rigged.
It could be right. Yep.
Just so that way everybody's like, oh, okay, Boomer got
Yes,
6 more.
and
How is
go-
this
and-
rigged?
That's
You know?
right, and move on. Yeah, exactly. And I don't think that should be the case. I don't think it should be the case. Again, I would look at the machines. So
I wonder how they would go about this though. Like I'm more of a person that, I see a problem, I want to fix it. I'm just so interested on how can they fix this? What can they do? How can they go about fixing it?
well, you can, I believe, you can do an audit on the machines.
Huh. Okay.
So if you look it up, I believe that can be done. So you can go look into the machines, and like Dave said, that is if they haven't touched it, because you're
Right.
not supposed to. Because you're not supposed to. Soon after the election, there's supposed to be a time frame where you do not touch the machines after an election.
Well, even then, even when like they're preparing the machines, I wonder if there's
Right.
like somebody or
Mhm.
something that can actually be there and watch
Sure.
the people with these machines.
Well, you know what? If they're on Coogan's side, they're not
Well,
going to do it. They're going to rig it. They're going to rig it.
That's what I'm saying. They're either getting paid off or they just don't like Boomer.
Right. Or anybody for that matter. It didn't have to
Well,
be
that too, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
this is,
there is a lot of people. There is a few people that there is people that like Boomer, but there's also people that didn't. You know what I'm saying? So I'm
Oh,
not
of
gonna-
course. Where you
Right.
put in your votes, majority of the people that are sitting there are for Paul Coogan. You can actually tell that because I believe at one point Boomer did say that the people that were there were pretty nasty and they didn't want to see Boomer win anything. You know what I
Well,
mean?
well, because they probably work for the city. That's why.
Yeah.
That's the
No, it
reason.
makes sense.
He did not get don't say that he got the majority of the vote. He didn't. Don't say that.
Right.
80% didn't even go out and vote, which just goes to show you that they didn't like Coogan either. Or
Right.
they just think that their vote doesn't matter because it's rigged anyway, like somebody said. So
Right.
a lot of people that I talked to when I was running said that they just didn't think their vote mattered.
Oh, of course,
That's
yeah.
usually the consensus. That's usually what it is. It doesn't matter.
And that's what we need to put out to people. Just
Right.
because you think your vote doesn't matter, you should still go out there and put in your vote. Because had they done this, it would have been harder for them to rig.
If they had it right, if they had these people that think that their vote doesn't count, if they had gone out and write in someone, even if they didn't like Boomer, and write somebody in, that would have taken the vote away for Coogan.
Of course, yeah.
That would have taken it away.
Well, Boomer did
So they
mention
didn't even
something.
show up.
Boomer did mention something that there was some writings. There was a majority of the writings too. So Boomer did mention that.
What did he say about that?
Boomer did mention that there was I think 19 write-ins.
That's not a lot. It's not a lot.
Nah. Yeah.
I think that's what.
Well, isn't
I'm
that
ass-
funny? Well, yeah, that's not a lot. 19 is
Right.
not a lot of write-ins. But if you
Well,
had more people show up to vote and they didn't like Coogan or Boomer, they could have written somebody in. That would have taken the vote away from Coogan.
I wouldn't doubt that my name got written in there.
Who knows? Like who? I
Yeah.
mean, we don't. We weren't there inside the recount, so I don't know what Boomer saw. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what he saw, or his team, or whoever was there. They both had to show up, I believe, with their team.
Yeah, boom, but you know something? I saw corruption right there, so no question about it. I saw corruption.
Well, everybody's saying that, but where's the corruption coming from? It's
Exactly.
got to be coming from probably inside, I would say, City Hall. Logically thinking about it, it seems like it's coming from City Hall. Something funky is going on over there.
Well, if you think about it, look at everybody in City Hall, right? I'm not gonna say look at everybody because, like
Right.
Booma says, like I say all the time, not everybody in there is corrupt, but
Right.
majority is corrupt, and you can actually see what we deal with on a daily basis. So
Right.
tell me that our votes aren't being changed.
Right.
You know what I
And
mean?
that's the machine.
And
That's the
Annalisa,
machine.
and Annalisa, you couldn't see, you said it better than I did
What?
about about the corruption and stuff like that. You know, when I said corruption and you said something, you said it better than I did.
Hey, yeah, David. So today I was on Facebook. I don't know if you saw it on Booma's page, but I sent it to you just now on Messenger.
Oh,
It was on Boomer's page that I guess Fall River and the Fall River School Department were clashing over the $5 million, and they don't know where it's going.
oh, you just sent me
What do you
something.
mean they don't know where it's going?
Wait a second. He said you sent it on Boomer's page, right?
Oh, I sent it to your messenger on Facebook,
Let me go find it. Hold
so
on.
you could probably share it out to Annalisa so she can see it too.
Let me find it.
And Boomer in the on the comment section said I called it,
Oh, all right.
which he did. He did call it.
Oh, that's what he was talking about today on Chip and CJ when he came on and said I didn't know what he was talking about. But, oh, that's what he
Right.
meant when he said I
Yep.
called
All
it.
right.
Oh, okay. I got it.
All right. Did you see where I have the AI? Like I made an AI me being in the studio.
Hold on.
So James said some people told me Coogan would win every precinct. Wonder how they feel now. You know, this election proved that Coogan is getting unpopular. Not that he's getting unpopular. He is unpopular, and he doesn't get that. He publicly said that the low turnout is because of voter apathy. It doesn't matter. You didn't win. Coogan didn't win by that much. Whoever
Gabe,
showed up.
I sent it to your personal Facebook messenger.
All right. Let's do it again. Dun, dun, dun. Let's get right into. I gotta. I have several. Oh, there it is. It just came through now. Okay. Let me see this. Let me share this.
James, we're going to get into that rent control ballot question because I think that's very, very, very interesting.
Okay, Annalise, I just sent you something.
Oh,
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Hold on. Let me see.
Well, you can actually put it up on a screen too, Eric.
Yeah, let me see if I can try to do that.
Anything you got, put it up on a screen. So.
Well, I mean, pertaining Fall River, I really don't have that much. Okay. Oh, okay. So is this what you're talking about, Eric? Fall River and its public school district clashed over how a 5 million annual net school spending overage was handled.
Yep.
Credits could help. Fall River school system deficit may have been around 7 million and council wants answers. Whoa. Wow, that's a lot of
See how much crap changes. I'm just gonna say it like that because we got some different people into the city hall as far as like city council and stuff like that, and they want answers. Can you imagine how it would have been if Boomer got in? He would have found out all these answers right away.
right. Well, this is what they're worried about, okay? This is what they don't want because of the corruption, right?
Yep.
So maybe this rigging that I probably happened, I would say on the machines, to make sure that Coogan got back in so that this stuff doesn't get exposed because
Right.
they knew Boomer was going to expose it and they don't want to expose. But you know what? It's going to get exposed.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, because he didn't win by that much. That's why.
Well, and not only that, we got some different people in city council and all over. You know what I mean? So a lot of stuff's gonna change
And it should.
as it should. Yeah, correct.
No, correct. Yeah, as it should.
Well,
You're right.
again,
And that's also why I'm going to be running in 2 years, because I personally want to know the answers, and I feel like everybody in the city of Fall River should know the answers. We've got what do we have to hide? You know what I mean? These people have been hiding stuff for I don't know how long.
right.
What are you going to run for?
For
Well,
sure.
Eric, what are you going to run for? Mayor?
City council.
Oh, good. All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna start on the low end, get my foot in the door. You know, show people what I'm about, and then from there we'll go up.
Yeah, the sooner
Right.
the better, probably.
The
Of
sooner
course.
the better, yeah. Yeah. So I mean, we got who we got there for what's the new city councils we got there now? I think we
Hold on.
have we have a couple of new city councils in there.
Okay.
All right, let me see. I couldn't get it from the Herald because I had to subscribe. So I am going to share what I found, what I did in a search, and what they said about it because I'm not really familiar with it. So let's read it.
Hey Dave, didn't Chris Peckham get in for city council?
That's the one I was talking about.
Yeah, see, that's why a lot's changing because Chris Peckham wants to know answers.
There you go. There you go. Okay, so what does it say here? The clash between the Fall River City Council and the school committee over the $7 million lease agreement for the former Atlantis Charter School is a significant issue that has garnered attention. Oh, it's a charter school. The school committee's decision to use surplus funds from the 2023 education budget to prepay part of the lease agreement is a strategic move to secure the property for the school department. The Fall River Redevelopment Authority's approval of the purchase of the building and the subsequent lease to purchase opportunity is a testament to the collaborative efforts between the city, government, and the school department. The lease agreement, if successful, will allow the school department to expand its pre-kindergarten program and renovate classrooms, addressing the growing demand for educational space in the community. Does that sound right?
That sounds right about right.
Is that what they're talking about?
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I feel like that's what they're talking about.
So they're talking about a lease agreement. Is that what this is the big hullabaloo about the 7 million? They want to prepay what, 5 million to the lease agreement?
I feel like that's what they're talking about. I have to dig more into it, but I just read about that a couple hours ago, anyways.
So they're clashing over the lease agreement and how much money they want to put into the lease to pay it down so that they have more control over what to do with the building.
Right. And that sounds like a a Paul Coogan scheme right there.
That is, well, of course it is a Paul Coogan scheme right there. Why not?
So,
I mean,
so that's coming from the school committee, and now the city council, who does probably the budget, is wondering, asking questions. Okay, that's good. I think that's good. Let me see. James says on the rent control, San Francisco tried, it didn't work, and it doesn't work anywhere. New York too. Rents there doubled. That could be amassed by 2027. The government telling landlords what they can and can't charge. Eric for City Council 2027. That council needs new members regardless of party affiliations.
well, I mean, the rent control. The rent control, it's not going to work in here either. I mean, it's not going to work here either. If it
It's
didn't
not.
work in, it's not. I mean, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying?
No. How is it going to work?
I said it's not. It's not going to
If
work.
there's
Even
rent control and then all the expenses go up and they can't raise the rent, people are going to be on the streets.
that's what we're worried about. And these
Yeah.
people are out, and these people are out there fighting for rent control. It's like, what the hell? Why?
Yeah,
you
in
guys fighting for rent
Massachusetts,
control
like he
for, man?
said.
Yeah. I mean,
I would,
yeah.
These people are socialists. They're communists. They are like a welfare state. They want everything free. They don't want to work for anything. They don't want to be a part of anything. They don't want to get involved in anything. They just want everything handed to them.
Well, that's what I was just gonna say after you were done, because I want to cut you off. Everybody expects everything to be handed to them nowadays. That's
Right.
what people have grown. This is how society is nowadays. We need to change that. We need to put change out there. And it's going to be tough,
Yeah.
but that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I want to be in city council. I want to try and make these changes for the city of Fall River.
It is going to be a
This-
disaster. It's going to be a disaster if it passes. But you know something? We were just talking about the elections just a little while ago. If people don't smarten up and go to the polls, these things are all going to get in. These
Of
things are all
course.
going to get in.
Yeah, because nobody's sitting there. Nobody's opening their mouths. Nobody wants to fight it.
Yeah, if 80% or so are not going to vote, this crap is going to get in.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because even President Trump said it, too big to rig. You got to get out and vote because it's just going to be too big to rig. People don't understand this. I don't think people understand this.
Well, and that's what happened
Yeah.
with Coogan. It was he thought he could rig the election. First of all, second of all, he thinks that he'll get anything and everything he wants because everything gets handed to him.
Mhm.
Second of all, and third, look what happened. Not many people came out to vote for him, so now he's sitting there crying.
Right.
So he's not going to go in next year because he knows he's going to lose.
Hey, you know who else wants to run? You know who else wants to run for mayor? Carol Fiola. She wants to run for mayor.
Oh God, no!
Ken-
Oh God,
Ken,
no! Oh,
Ken
my
Fiola's wife. Come on, imagine what a disaster that would be.
God. If
That'd
he's
be-
not
We'd be more of a crap show than we are now.
right,
There should be another Coogan.
I think at that point, Dave, I might have to run for mayor if Boomer doesn't do it.
Well, the Boomer
Yeah,
doesn't
I
run
think
for
you
mayor,
need to
Eric,
have-
man, you got to get in there.
Yep.
You got to run for mayor.
I think you need to have more candidates for mayor.
Yeah, that's true. We
Because-
did. How many did we have for this year? How many candidates did we have run, Dave?
We had 1, 2, 3. And we had Carlos Caesar, the one that turned his back on
Yep.
us. We had
Yes.
another. We had. Yeah. Well, that was Carlos Caesar. That
So
was.
you had four.
We
You
had
had
4 people.
Republicans, right? And
4
then
Republicans running for us. 4 Republicans running. Okay, for mayor. Okay, 4. I mean,
Dave, I said this before, and Eric as well, both of you. In Fall River and everywhere else in Massachusetts, the Democrats, the incumbents, never have anybody else running against them. Ever.
Yep. Yep.
Ever. So Paul Coogan's votes all went to him in the primary and in the general.
You got it.
Exactly.
You said it.
Four
said it, man.
candidates, 4 Republicans. All right. So three were basically got the votes. Okay. And Boomer came out on top.
Right.
But the 2 others got votes as well. You're splitting the vote. If it was only Boomer, he would have won. He would have
Oh,
won.
of course. Yeah. Hands down.
If Boomer was the only Republican candidate on the ticket during the primary, he would have gotten all those votes and he would have beaten Coogan, and Coogan would have been sweating bullets at the general.
Well, you see, that's what I wanted to happen. I wanted to just be Boomer and 3 other Democrats, because you know damn well Boomer would have won this.
Right. So
Boomer would have won.
it'll
Absolutely.
never happen. You people, you know what? In Massachusetts, you have to understand that the Democrats will never have another Democrat opponent against them. Maura Healey will not have one. She's the lone Democrat. And how many Republicans are running? 3. 3.
Exactly. Yep.
That's going to
If this
split
is-
all the Republicans' votes 3 ways. And she's going to get all the Democrat votes and she's going to get on top. Watch. She's going to get on top. The Republicans
stupid.
and the GOP, the Mass GOP, are the ones that don't do anything about this because they're part of the Uni Party. And that's another problem that Massachusetts has, is the Mass GOP. They're nowhere to be found. Nowhere.
Nope.
They're nowhere. And you're gonna get the same thing over and over and over again in every election. You are gonna have 2 to 3 Republicans run against 1 Democrat, and the Democrats are gonna win.
Of course.
And the Democrats are going to win because all the votes will go to 1 candidate while the Republicans are splitting it 3 ways, which is happening again right now in Massachusetts.
Yeah, I'm afraid that might happen.
There's not 1 candidate. I don't understand. Why can't there be just 1 candidate running for Republican? 1.
Ignore it.
And that will go up against Maura Healey one-on-one and see what happens.
I would love to see that. 1 Republican and 1 Democrat going up
One-
against Maura Healey.
1 Republican, not 3, 1. Rent control also disincentivizes property developers from building. Of course. Yep. Lower taxes and getting rid of ridiculous zoning laws will lower the rent. Don't know why people refuse to see that. They refuse. Yeah. I mean, this is another problem where people don't understand how the system works. This is another issue.
Yeah. It's ridiculous already.
I mean, you know, unfortunately, what everybody sees is, I think he got set up by the fellows because they hate each other. I don't see why Democrats won't want people like John Farmer, someone who is an extreme. Well, they want extremes now. This is their base. The Democrats are now extreme. The moderates are nowhere to be found. They might be there, but they don't say anything. They're cowards. And so the big mouths are taking over. The extremes are taking over. Just like in Mass. Look at Ayanna Pressley. Look at Michelle Wu. Now Maura Healey is getting to be that way. There are a lot of radicals in Massachusetts, even Elizabeth Warren and what's his face? The other senator, what's his name? Ed.
Ed
The
Markey.
surprise.
I'm just trying to. Well, you got Ed Markey.
Markey, that's it. Thank you.
Ed Markey. He's another screwball.
They all are. They're all out there on the left because that's who
Plus.
they're appeasing to, the left.
And what's going on with the Epstein case? I mean, I've been hearing a lot about that stuff, man. I've been watching it. I've been following it. I talked about it the other day.
It's not a
too.
case, Dave. It's not even a case.
Yeah, the Epstein. Now, what's going on with that?
The files, not the case. The
the
files.
files. Well, I call it a case, but
It's
somebody's
not a
going to end up.
case.
Somebody's going to go to jail. So, but what's going on
No,
with it?
well, they just the House and the Senate voted to release the files.
Yeah.
And now it's going to go to President Trump's desk, and he says he's going to sign it, which means that they're going to get released. The files are going to get released. And I just read not too long ago, I forget who's going to do it. They're going to set up, I believe they want to set up like a website where only the files will be there so people can go and read it.
I'd like to see whose name's on that.
No, but it's going to be redacted. It's good. You're not going to see. You're not going to see, like, there are a lot of victims mentioned, and they do not want to have their name out there.
No,
So
I'm not. I want to see who was involved. You know what I'm saying? The victims, I don't want to see their names. I want to see who was involved. Okay, I want to see who was involved with that. Okay, I want to see.
They might show. I don't know what they're going to show, Dave, but I have no idea. I don't know, but I know that one Democrat, I think Larry Summers, left. He resigned because he had communication with Epstein, so he left.
And you know something? And the reason why he also probably left because he knows that his name is on it. That's probably why he left.
Well, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It's out there now. Exactly. And another congresswoman, a Democrat, I think, who's still there, also corresponded with Epstein, but they told her she was okay and that she wasn't going to leave.
Wow.
Okay.
But you know what they said though? You know what Mike Johnson said? He said that he doesn't want a lot of the names coming out there, meaning people that he knows, people that are in politics. I think that's what he's referring to. Because it's going to change the whole political system. And we're like,
names have to come out.
yeah, you know what? This is what we want, the political system to change, to crash, and start all over again. It's corrupt.
I agree. I want this system to crash too. Okay, I want it to crash so we can start all over again too. I agree with you on that one because
So that's what Mike Johnson said. He said he wants to protect how it's going right now, but other people that do not want this system, like myself, want it to change. And if it's going to cause a collapse, I hope it causes a collapse.
I hope it goes too. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, there is names on there. There is names on there. I'll bet you any money Bill Clinton's name's on there too.
Of course it is. It is, Dave. It is.
Barack Obama's name's on there too. Want to make a? I already know what's happening with that.
Right. It's not. I bet it is. It is. It is.
People already.
Okay. You need to get people need to get the image that they have in their brains, which is really dumb. Like with Obama, who they think is Jesus Christ. Who they think was Jesus, second coming of Jesus. You need to get rid of these images that that the media portrays them to be as innocent, doing the best that they can, like Obama being a family man and having 2 children. He is gay.
So his wife. So is his wife.
Right. His wife is a trans.
Right.
She's good. I'm not going to say it, but I mean,
I
you
did.
know what I'm
I
saying.
just said it. She's a trans.
Yeah,
Okay?
and at least I said it for you.
Right. And Joan Rivers even said that a lot of people know this. Okay, a lot of people. It's the image that they portray, the media that they portray that this guy is a Christian and he's not. He's a Muslim. Now they're saying he's part of the Muslim Brotherhood,
Yeah.
like
Yep.
Mamdani.
On Donnie.
This guy
Me-
is a fraud.
And unfortunately, media plays a lot to do with
Yes,
politics
they
nowadays.
do. Yes,
Ridiculous,
they
man.
do. And people, because they believe the media and they believe what they want to believe, like as an example with Obama and even Clinton. But when it comes to President Trump, it's a different story. But when it comes to the Democrats, they don't do anything wrong. They do
Mhm.
nothing.
No, they don't. No, they don't. They're innocent.
That's the
Yeah.
thing, though. People believe the first thing that they see, and anybody else who's trying to correct them, trying to lead them in the right direction, and doing research, they don't want anything to do with it.
Right, because they know that it's a farce, because they know it's a farce. But when it comes to Obama, I really think a lot of people find it hard to believe that he's gay.
Oh, of course.
That's what I'm saying,
Of
because
course he is.
the media portrayed him as a, normal, heterosexual Christian male who got married to a woman who was actually a trans, and then had 2 children who actually they used a surrogate parents for that, because Michelle, whose real name is Michael, cannot have children.
And those kids that they have right now, none of them kids look like her or him.
Right.
Nope.
No, they look like the surrogates because I saw photos of them. That's who they
Right.
look like. Of course, who else are they going to look like? So
But here we are again with the media hiding crap, Dave.
that's right.
Yeah,
Hmm.
media is always hiding crap all the time.
Yeah, but you know what? There are a lot of people on the list that I think people are going to have if we get to see it. I'm not so sure we're going to. Okay, but you can imagine if they do not want the names to come out, who they are. We know who they are. That's why, because we know who they are.
When the names come out, guess what's going to happen?
I don't think we're going to see the names. I don't think we're going to see the names.
We might not see the names, but when the names do come out, even if
No.
we don't see them, guess what's going to happen? There's going to be a lot of arrest warrants out for some people's
Right. I don't care if I see them or not, but I want justice to be carried out. I don't care if you have evidence against them, then you need to charge them and arrest them and put them in jail. Okay. I don't think it's going to happen. I really don't. I don't think it's going to happen. I really think President Trump said, yeah, okay, because he knows what they're going to do. They already know what they're going to do. This is
yeah. Yep.
Jake Bradley said Bill Gates is on a list.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm telling you,
man.
there are a lot of celebrities on that list. There are a lot of celebrities.
Oh
too.
yeah, of course, man. Bill Gates.
But again, the problem is, say like I innocently went to a Epstein party. I didn't know it was an Epstein party. Okay. And a friend of mine says, hey, Annalisa, I heard there was this great party over whatever on Fifth Avenue or wherever. Why don't we just go? Then I'm like, oh, okay. You get all dressed up and dolled up because you're gonna meet whatever, right? And so you go, and it's you have no clue about these people. You don't know who they are. You don't know who I don't know. I didn't know who Epstein was, and just till recently. So if I saw celebrities there, I'd be like, oh my God, that's so and so. Oh my God. If I saw Epstein, I would have no clue who he was. I would not know. Diddy is on the list. Yeah, he is actually. So, in other words, what I'm saying is that just because people's names are on the list doesn't mean that they knew what was going on. It
Right.
doesn't. It doesn't. So you have to be careful because they can get sued. The government can get sued if they put out information there that's not accurate. So it has to get redacted. It has to. You know what? Jake Bradley says that he hopes Seth Moulton wins. Oh my God, he's another idiot.
All right. We're on YouTube because it says here they're having trouble this being my stream being on Facebook. So just leave it alone for now. Yeah,
Okay.
we're having trouble. They're having trouble with it. So
All right, let me.
yeah, they're having trouble with it.
Here and get rid of the screen.
Yeah, just leave it on. What do you call it? On YouTube for now. Yeah, because it says here we are having trouble streaming to Facebook, but this may be on issue to Facebook ending. It's possible that the stream was ended to delete on Facebook. We'll keep trying to let you know if it is resolved. So please check Facebook to ensure the stream looks okay. So yeah, so they're having problems on their end. So, but it's fine.
I'm going to vote for John Deaton for Senate. Who's John Deaton?
Oh, he's ran for Senate before, so.
Instead of Seth Moulton, I would never vote for Seth Moulton. I would never vote for the Democrats again. I would write in somebody if it was only if I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't vote anyway for a Democrat. I would never. But there's nobody there. The problem in Massachusetts is that there's no Republicans. Oh, he's a Republican. John Deaton is a Republican. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he is, and he's lost before. I think he's run for governor or something.
No, he's not running.
He's running for Senate.
Yeah,
he's running for Senate.
And where's the Mass GOP? They're going to be nowhere to be found once again.
Of course not. Yeah,
they're going to be nowhere. They're going to be nowhere, and Seth Moulton is going to win because nobody goes out to vote. It's the same story all the time. And I never see the Mass GOP push for people to vote like right now. What's happening, President Trump next year, he's going to hold rallies so that he can get the base energized to go out and vote, because they're not going out to vote like what happened in the Northeast, like what happened in New York and New Jersey, and how the Democrats won.
Right.
Yeah.
I just want Markey out of there. Yeah. But he's going to go. He probably will go. And if it's any indication of how the voting patterns go in Massachusetts, I would, Seth Moulton is going to get back in because the Republicans have no help. The Republicans are nowhere to be found. I'm talking about the Mass GOP. They're nowhere to be found. They don't help their candidates at all. They're a uni party. And
it's ridiculous,
if people don't go out and vote, this pattern is going to happen over and over and over again. And you know what's going to happen too? Because if this pattern keeps repeating itself, at some point, some governor and it might not be Maura Healey, or it might be, they're gonna say, well, you guys aren't gonna vote anymore because 80% of the people do not go out and vote. And it's always the same ones, the Democrats, that win. So there's no point in you voting anymore because nobody shows up. I bet you anything that's going to come down the line. Your voting rights are going to be stripped because people don't go out and vote. And it's always the same people that get in. This, just like, even though in Fall River, it was, 219, winning by 219 is like nothing.
Right.
For the Democrats, that's nothing. That's nothing. So Paul Coogan doesn't have a mandate here. Everyone onto YouTube because they are fixing it. Oh, that's Dave. That's you, everyone.
Yeah.
Are
So
we chatting on YouTube right now, or I'm still on Facebook? I think.
are you? Yeah.
I'm
Well,
not
because
on YouTube.
no. Yeah. Are you still on Facebook?
Yeah, because that's what I.
Okay, so you might be still on Facebook over there, but over here on mine's, they're fixing it. So you know what I'm saying, they're trying to fix it. For me to get it back on.
Well, I don't know
my side.
I don't know what they're fixing if I can still see and hear you.
Okay, so
I don't
we're on.
understand what you're talking about.
That's no, my Facebook page. My Facebook page.
I know. I'm on. When I log in with you, Dave, it's on Facebook. I'm not on YouTube.
All right, so you're on Facebook over there. Okay,
I'm on Facebook.
All right.
So what are they talking about that there's a problem? You were probably having a problem with, streaming. Yeah. Maybe it got cut off, or maybe the connection wasn't good, but it's still here. I can still hear Eric. Eric, are you on Facebook or YouTube?
No, I'm on YouTube.
Oh, you're on YouTube. Okay. I'm on Facebook.
Well, I'm all right. So I just all right. But I want to make sure I tell everybody to go. We're on Facebook on my page to go to YouTube. That's fine. Oh well, what it is, what it is.
Yeah, well, Markey, I mean, he's done nothing for the state.
Yeah, Markey's
and neither has Elizabeth Warren. They're both losers.
Yeah, both corrupt.
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely.
Very corrupt. Very corrupt. So, and you know what? Maybe the Epstein files is something where, and you know what? Maybe President Trump does know that this is going to shake up the DC show.
Oh yeah.
Because that's what that's what I voted for him. I wanted him to shake things up and change all this corruption because it's too deep.
Yep, me too.
Yeah, this has to be shaken up somehow. Maybe this is going to do it. There's these Epstein files will do it. That is, if not every name is redacted.
Right.
But there is going to be, I don't know if there's going to be, but he would like, somebody in DC would like to have just a website only for the Epstein file so that people can go read it if they want to.
Right.
I hope they have a so I hope they have
I think it's going to crash.
A page for that. I think it's going to. Huh?
I think it's going to crash. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yep.
It might crash.
I think so too.
Everybody wants to know. Everybody wants to know who is in there. I don't want to know who's in there. I want to see justice.
That's what I'm saying. Yep.
Yeah, I want to see people get arrested. I don't want to gossip about anybody and make up all these assumptions that they did this, that. I don't care.
I just want accountability in the end.
Right. If you have the evidence that they did what they did and it was illegal, then you need to arrest them.
Lock them up.
That's right. Lock them up. That's it. That's all. But and President Trump said this is more of a Democrat issue than a Republican one.
Yeah, I told James to go to YouTube.
Transparency and well, I think they are being transparent right. Well, now they are with the
They're
Epstein
gonna
files.
they're gonna
But
start getting accountability parts soon.
right,
I
now
hope.
we gotta
Right.
get the accountability
Transparency.
part.
That's what we need. You know what I'm saying?
Well, with the Epstein files, I think we're gonna get some of it, but accountability is a different story. That's
Oh
always
yeah.
no matter what they say, and it's happened before. Clinton with Monica Lewinsky, Obama with something else, with the cash that he gave to Iran or something.
Yep.
Every administration has an issue or issues, but they're never held accountable.
Right.
Never, ever,
Oh,
anyone, nobody
and
goes to jail.
that's why all these other people come in and they feel like they can do whatever the hell they want because nobody's being
Right,
held accountable for it.
right. Lawlessness. It's lawlessness.
Yep.
I mean, this is just chaotic. This is chaotic. There's no morals here. You know what I mean? Like there's the founding fathers who wrote the Constitution did not even get paid. They didn't even get paid when they were writing the Constitution.
Right.
Yeah.
These people are getting paid and then some. They're being bribed
Oh, of course.
by the lobbyists. Where does it say that it's okay to bribe an elected official? Like, where does it say that in the Constitution? I
And
don't see it.
once again, that's when accountability comes in.
Transparency, accountability, where
What even is that?
what's
Yeah,
happened to
right,
everyone,
exactly.
you need that.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it definitely took us a long time to find out what happened with the Vietnam War.
This is the FBI. This is the CIA. I mean, these are
They're just hiding stuff from us, like always.
yeah. Oh yeah, and the agencies that experiment on us, the chemtrails, the crap that they're putting in the air. Why do we have chemtrails? Why do we have to have chemtrails in the sky?
And you know what they do to hide all this? They start things with they start things politically to pull the wool over everybody's eyes, so that way they can go out and do whatever the heck they want.
Well, this strategy that they're using is not going to last because everybody's
Yeah.
seeing through now. A lot of people are like catching on to the lies.
You're already much.
All right, hold on one second. Hold on.
So altogether, oh, this is that one?
Yeah, I said that to a couple people the other day that everybody's starting to catch on with everything that's going on nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that easy for the politicians to do what they have been doing for a long time and get away with it, like what's going on in the Gaza Strip. Our money, our taxpayer money going to Israel
Yep.
to fund what they're doing. Like we want to know, where is our tax money going?
Exactly.
Yeah, we want to know now. We want to know. And
Oh, we
it's
want to know all of that.
that's right.
It's
And
a lot of money going away.
that's right, that we can use. And we're $38 trillion in debt. 38 trillion. And
Yeah.
the Saudi Arabian the prince that was just here the other day, just said he was going to invest $1 trillion to the U.S. economy.
You know something, Annalisa? We're that much in debt, but people still want stuff for free. How does that make sense?
They don't care. You know what they do? They print money. They print it.
Yep.
President Trump is spending more money than Biden did.
Right.
And that big, beautiful bill, even though it has a lot of things in there that are good, but it runs up the deficit.
Right.
And so that's why Thomas Massey voted against it, was because it was going to raise the debt. And that's what it did. That's what it did.
Hey, I'm waiting for my $2,000.
Dave, come on. Why are you waiting for $2,000?
Because I'm waiting for it. Because I
Why?
need it. So I can pay
Yeah,
bills.
well, what are you going to do with $2,000 in Massachusetts? It's going to last you 2 days.
I'm gonna send that back and tell them to fix the roads and fix all the damn problems around the city.
Yeah, I like my
Yeah.
$2,000. I can pay bills too, you know?
So somebody said about the $2,000. I feel Scalise. Scalise said that he would rather pay down the debt than send the money out. I agree.
Yeah, I
You need-
agree with that. Yep.
You got to pay down this debt, not pay out. Stop.
They're making it worse.
That makes it worse. It does. It does. Not only does it make it worse, it makes it worse for people that are on assistance, government assistance, and making them dependent on the government to help bail them out.
Right.
This is dangerous to me. Okay, this is the welfare state. And this is how socialism and communism get to flourish, because the communists are going to supposedly take care of everything for you. They're going to have grocery stores for you, so that when you go in there and there's no food, you think you're going to pay $1 for a can of whatever. You're going to pay $1 for a loaf of bread, and it's not there.
Right.
You guys are going to be starving. You're going to be starving because the food is not going to be going to city-run grocery stores.
And these are the things that people don't think about.
No, because they're so used to SNAP benefits. They're so used to all these benefits that they get on a timely basis. They get to use taxpayer money, go to the grocery store, get whatever the hell they want, because nobody tells them that they can't get junk food, with taxpayer money.
I don't have food stamps.
So
I pay cash.
I'm saying the ones that do. And I'm sure
I
that
know.
there are plenty of people that really do need it. That's different. But you know what? There are so many people on SNAP benefits that don't need it, because I saw the videos, and so did a lot of other people, and so did the government. And guess what? Now they have to reapply. Now they're changing everything about the SNAP benefits.
Yep.
And they should.
Exactly. And that's the way it should be, because now people can't actually sit there and just be like, okay, I'm getting free stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? They actually have to look at it now as, oh, damn, they're gonna make a phone call with me to see if I have a job. If I have a job, they're gonna take it away. You know what I mean?
Well, but the new guidelines that President Trump came out is you do have to work if you have SNAP benefits, you have to have a part-time job. You have to be.
Oh yeah, of course.
And that's good.
Yeah, but
well, I mean, unless of course you're like disabled, like you can't walk or you can't use your arms or something like that. That's totally different. But as far as if you can actually do a part-time job with probably like 4 hours, 5 hours, I get that. I understand that.
Yeah, 4 or 5 hours a day, 20 hours a week. That's like part-time.
Right.
I'm sure that they have talked to the people. I'm sure who they mean are the ones that are using it and abusing it.
Oh, of course. That's like the people. That's like the people in housing that have 4 kids, and the 2 adults have jobs, and they're working really hard. They're stacking their money, and they're just living for free, basically.
Right.
Huh.
And the illegals are doing that as well.
Right.
The illegals are another drain. The illegals are a very big drain in Massachusetts and in other liberal cities. and sanctuary states and cities, it's another drain.
Right.
I mean, this is a problem, and it's a problem that the Democrats created. So I remember I don't remember the USS Liberty, but I did read up on it, and it sounds like that Israel could do that. Yeah, Israel always has excuses for saying that they didn't do what they did because they didn't know it was an American ship. That's so full. They're so full of baloney. It's not even funny. It's so funny.
Yeah. Well,
But the
Talking about-
Red Patrol too. I can't believe that's going to be going. You're going to vote on that next year.
Don't forget about ICE. Old ICE declared them as a sanctuary state last year.
Yeah, that's a drain on the state
Yep.
and on the federal benefits that they're getting. They're not supposed to be getting federal benefits because President Trump said he was going to cut them off. But the state is a different story. Maura
Right.
Healey is giving money to the illegals because it's a state thing. It's not federal. So she can do that if she wants. But that means the taxes are going to go up because they're not getting federal funding for it.
And that's exactly what people are missing out on. They say, "Oh, okay, we should be supporting these people that come in." First of all, you're an idiot because they're not even legal here, so you shouldn't even be supporting them. Number two, they don't realize the more that they support them, the more taxes come out of our pockets. Exactly what you said, Annalisa. And
Yeah.
what do people want? They want taxes to go down. It's not going to happen. It's
Yeah.
not going to happen.
It's not.
That's what I'm
No,
saying.
it's not.
And that's what I'm saying when people don't understand how this works. This is so basic.
And it's not only that, people put out the resources for people to research this. You can literally go on Google and ask Google about this, and you will know all the answers about it. It's just people don't want to do the work. People don't want to hear the truth.
Well,
People
if they don't
don't.
want to,
People,
it's going to hit them in the face, and they're going to be out.
people don't.
They don't know the truth.
People don't care about the truth. Okay, people want to hear what they want to hear, and that's it.
Exactly. They hear what they want to hear, and when someone goes against it, that's when it's a big battle.
Well, that people are saying that's the indoctrination of the schools. And we are producing, some people are not very bright. We are producing socialist, communist kids that come out of the school system.
And I've been saying this for the longest time now. They don't teach these things in school anymore. Like the history of World War I, World War II, the Great Depression, stuff like that. They don't teach that in school anymore. And I know they don't because I ask kids all the time, "Hey, do you know about Pearl Harbor?" And they don't know anything. They don't even know the name of they don't even know the name of the war.
You know
So it's
why?
like,
Because that's called cancel culture.
yep.
That's communism.
And I say it all the time. My father used to tell me all the time, go to history class, learn history classes. Same thing with all the other classes. But the main one is if we don't understand history class and we don't know all the history of our country, we're going to repeat it.
We're not going to repeat anything. It's going to be gone. It's going to be
well,
gone.
that too. But we could repeat history. But it's not going to be the same. It's going to be worse.
I don't know. I'm not sure I don't know what repeat history because I've never seen this before. I've never seen socialism and communism so popular as it is right now. This is, to me, new. This is new.
Oh no, I'm talking about like worldwide, like World War II and World War One. Like we're gonna have a full out world war if people don't get their shit together.
Well, you know what? The Europeans and the people in the Middle East are, I believe, better educated than we are, and they know all about that stuff.
Right.
Okay, they do. I mean, if you go to Europe or else in the world, they're not teaching their kids LGBTQ, DEI, and CRT and stupid things like that. They're teaching them how to become engineers, doctors, how to work the computer programming, how to do engine. I mean, we're way behind.
Yeah, we are. We're way behind on a lot of things.
The kids are way behind.
Yeah.
I mean that you go to China right now and you take a kid with you, they'll be more interested there than anywhere else because look how far ahead they are. These kids know so much.
They do. And even
It's
in
crazy.
Europe, when I was in Italy, I forget when it was, 5, 6 years ago, my cousin, who was in elementary school, was already learning English.
Yep.
He's already learning English at an elementary school.
Yeah, that's like my cousins in Portugal. It's crazy. A lot of those people there can speak the Portuguese, but they all know English.
Right.
You know what I
We
mean?
don't
So
do that.
they're already 10 steps ahead of us.
Yeah, and their math classes are harder.
Yep.
Everything is way more advanced at their level than we are in this country. And somebody just read, oh, it was a Chip and CJ on their program. He read that even though Massachusetts, they say, still has a good educational system, they're finding a lot of holes in it now. It's not as good as it used to be. The kids, after post COVID, their reading and their math have gone down. So they're not up to par either like they once were at one point.
You know, I'll say this, Annalisa, okay? The thing I do agree with the Massachusetts school departments is they have great trades. If you go there for a trade school,
They
for
have
plumbing,
what?
construction, if you go for a trade like plumbing, construction, mechanics, you'll be able to get a job out of that. But as far as the learning side, like you're talking about now, I don't agree with anything they're doing.
I didn't hear what you said because something happened. So, but there, what I'm saying is I don't think it's Dave, that noise, stop.
Not on my end.
Yeah, you're with that crunching in the bag.
Why can't you hear anything now?
No, I can't. Thank you. Okay.
Oh, come on, man. Like you
That's
don't feel
loud.
your face?
It's loud. The crunching. You know what you should do? Put it in a bowl, and you can eat that way. But I can hear the bag because you're putting your hand in it, and it's really loud.
Uh-oh. Jealous.
Oh, so Annalisa, as I was saying, the trades.
No, go ahead.
I like the trades,
Oh, the
like
trade.
the plumbing, the electric, the construction, the mechanics. I agree with all that. It's teaching them at a young age that hey, you come out with a trade, you go into a trade in the real world, you make all the money, you'll be able to support your family. I like that, but the education side, I don't know what they're doing anymore.
But you still have to have the basics, even if
Right.
you're going to do a trade. You
Right.
have to know your math. You have to know like geometry. You have to figure out how
Exactly.
to read blueprints to put electrical wiring in or a plumbing
Right.
system in. You still have to know these things. You have to have the basics, and that's what I'm talking about.
When I
The
was doing construction, I
Yeah.
can't tell you how many new people came in that didn't know how to read a tape measure. How you gonna do construction if you don't know how to read a tape measure?
That's right. That's
You know what I
right.
mean?
Mhm. That's what I'm
It's
saying.
insane.
Where's the basics? These are just basic things that you need to know. And President Trump with H-1B visas, and that is the foreigners coming in, because this country is not like we were saying before. The school system, some are good and some aren't.
Right.
Okay. And so I don't think we're producing enough students when they graduate to be employable in fields that are high tech.
I forgot what Boomer said the graduation rate was. But he said it was a less number in Fall River. It was so low for the graduates that exceed. That succeed after they get out of high school.
Right.
It's insane. So
They're never gonna
that's
get
another
there.
thing you got to work on. You know,
Eric, the poverty cycle just stays where it is.
right,
People are not going to move out from Fall River, and families are not going to improve because education is not important.
right,
And we talked about it with CJ and Chip too. Now, where I'm from in Swampscott, and I'm not saying it's better, but just to show you the difference. I mean, education is a big deal. Education was a big deal.
right,
Okay, they push the kids to go to college. Now it's up to them what they want to do after they graduate. Some go to trade school, some go into the military, but most of them do go to college because
right.
that's what they're being told and pushed to do. If you don't have the family, I'm not talking about the school, I'm talking about the family, the parents. If the parents don't care what happens to their
Exactly.
school, then they're not going to care. The kids are not going to care because they don't have to study. The parents don't care.
Yep.
They're going to be on welfare. They're going to get government assistance. They're not going to improve. And the poverty starts all over again. It never changes. It never
Exactly.
changes.
A
And
lot
that's
of
how,
it starts at home.
right. And you know what? The politicians love that.
Yep.
They love that. That's what they want. That's what they want. They want people to be dependent on the government, which means more money for them.
Oh, of course.
So that they can spend it any way they want. And people are like, yeah, we want socialism. Yeah, we want communism. Sure.
Right.
Take it from the billionaires. Yeah, they don't pay enough. They're all brainwashed.
Right.
They're not the type, that these kids are entitled. When they get out of school of a 4-year degree, they want $100,000 right off the bat.
Exactly.
That's not happening.
Nope. And that's why. Have you noticed that every single Democrat that runs for president goes, "Oh yeah, I want free schooling," and the minute they say that, everybody jumps for their votes. Everybody jumps to vote for a Democrat.
Do you know how they push the public schools? Because that's all federally funded. That's that's all taxpayer money going to public schools, and they're not teaching the kids anything. It's funny how the U.S. spends almost over $20,000 per pupil for education, but that said, education has been getting worse. The United States spend more money on education per person than they do in Europe, that do better than we do. And we're always on the bottom.
Right.
And we're always on the bottom. They're not doing their job. The teachers are part of the teachers' unions. They're looking for their contracts. They want to make sure that they get their days off, their vacations during the year, even though they don't work during the summer. So these teachers, I think they're getting paid pretty well, not working all year round.
Yeah, of course.
How much you think these?
What?
How much you think that these teachers are getting?
Oh, I don't know. They're always complaining that it's never enough money. Okay.
Of course not.
The teachers are always complaining that they don't make enough. And maybe they don't.
It happens here in the Fall River School Department, Fall River School. All the time.
Well, you know what? If the kids are unruly and the teachers have to deal with that, they're going to leave.
Yeah.
They're going to leave. They don't want to deal with that. They want to go into the classroom. They want to teach what they got to teach. And who wants to deal with a bunch of brats or even worse, bullies and people that get arrested? Because that happens.
Yeah.
Right.
It does.
It happens, man.
Again, This all comes from the home. This all starts in the home. That's where it starts.
Well, the parents don't. The reason why the kids are bullies. Okay, and a lot of times I don't even make excuses for them, but but sometimes kids come from broken homes, drunken fathers.
That's what I'm saying. It starts in the family.
There's no
Uh,
discipline either.
and
Right.
yeah, and look at this, and there's a lot of what do you call there's a lot of domestic in the home. You know what I'm saying? Parents getting in divorce, kids being stuck in the middle of it, and sometimes the kids would question, wow, why am I getting in the middle of this? You know what I'm saying? I'm going to tell you, okay, I was one of those kids, okay? I was one of them. And my parents, well, my real father never, ever, 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 hit my mother or break anything, you know what I'm saying? But for some reason, my mom, got a divorce from my mom, from my father. And what happened there was then my mother started going out with somebody else. And then later, after he got done being used to being around the house, doing things. He used to treat us nice. He treated us nice. He used to tell us to go out and, hey, look, if you go out and pick and get me a whole bag of cans, I'll buy them off you. Okay. That's how my stepfather was. Okay. He used to pay because we were little kids back then. And he used to pay us like, if we came back with two bags of cans or 3 bags, he pays like $10.50 a bag, $10.50. So because he was a guy that liked to pick metal, metal and stuff, and and sell it. But anyways, so let's get down to what I want to say here. So anyways, he got so used to being around the house, and then later on, he started breaking stuff in the house. Then he started, what else did he started doing? Then he started hitting my mother. Then then he started coming home drunk. Flipping tables around. I mean, I remember having a TV set. Okay, I remember having a TV set in the house, and when I went to go watch my cartoons, I goes, "Oh," I said, well, "I ain't watching that TV anytime soon, and we're not going to get another one anytime soon because now it's broken." So,
He broke it. Are you saying he broke it?
He broke the TV. Yeah. Then I thought things were gonna stop, but things started getting worse. He took he took a chair, he broke the window, he broke all the windows in the house, and I was like, you know what? I says, something. I says I had it with this shit already. And one day I said, look, I said, you guys need to stop. Stop fighting. Okay, you guys can't get along. He's gonna have to go his way, and you're gonna stay right here. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you guys are gonna have to split up one way or the other. I says, furthermore, okay, I says my stepfather, okay, never put a hand on my mother. Okay, all right. I mean, my real father never put a hand on my mother. Okay, you come into our lives and you do this, okay, to us. Okay, I cannot sleep. I have to get up this morning for school. I had to quit school. Okay, I had to drop out of school. Okay, to babysit 2 adults that could never get along with each other. Okay, so at 18 years old, I went out and got a security job. I come home. There comes my stepbrother. He comes in. He's driving down the street drunk. I'm like, oh my God. I said, what the hell? I said, none of this shit's ever going to fucking end. So, and I'm like, okay. I said, here comes my stepfather, he's already blasted already. He comes to the house. He says, "Where's your mother?" I said, "My mother went out shopping, child. She'll be right back." Then he flips out, starts breaking stuff in the house again. And I'm like, I said, "Look, you know what?" I said, "I had enough of this." So, and later, my mother gets home, right? And now it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I said, "Look," I said, "I gotta get to bed. I gotta get up at school in the morning. I don't want to deal with this shit anymore." Okay. So he started again. I gets up. I said, "Look, you know what?" I says, "I'm sick and tired of you, and I'm sick and tired of you. Okay. Both of you are fighting again. Okay. And I've already explained that if you can't get along, split up." So he hit my mother again. So honestly, I said, and I'm like, okay, you know what? It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Now
Why
he's
didn't you
picking
call
on
the
me.
police, Dave? Why didn't you call the police?
Oh, I didn't have to. Now listen to this. So, and later, and then now me and him is fighting outside. Okay, at 3 in the morning. So he's throwing punches at me. I gave him a roundhouse. I kicked him in the face right up against his own truck. I said, "You know something?" I said, "Look," I said, "Dude," I says, "You know something?" I said, "Stay down." I said, "You're drunk." I says, "You need to go to bed. You need to sleep it off." Oh no, he didn't want to. He actually still wanted to actually come at me. I said, "Dude, the police are gonna come and they're probably gonna arrest everybody." You know what I'm saying? So the police. So I looked up the hill. This was on Whipple Street many years ago back. So I looked up on the hill. I said, "Oh, it comes 6 cruisers coming down the street." I said, "See what I just see what you did?" I said, "Look
Yeah,
what
but
you
you
just
didn't
did."
call the police. Somebody else did. You didn't call the
Someone else
police.
did.
Did your mother call the police?
No, somebody else did.
Yeah, that's
So
what I'm saying. Okay, this is okay. I know whatever that happened a long time ago, but um, when the family situation is like that, the kids have a very hard time.
yeah.
They have a
Hey,
very hard
I know that firsthand. I used to work at a hospital doing security, and I used to work with children from all ages. I'd say probably about from around 8 to 18. A lot of them used to come in from abusive families. They used to come in where their parents used to be drunk or high or whatever the case may be, and I used to have to work with them. And then on top of that, back to what we were saying about the troubled kids, we used to get troubled kids all the time that used to come in there, and their parents used to discipline them, not by like hitting them or anything, but by taking things away, trying to get them to understand that they need to do the right thing. So what do? They come to the hospital. They say their parents are trying to discipline them. They don't like their rules, right? And then here comes our job where we have to try and set up um so that way they know the right things to do. We need to set up a coping plan for them. It's kind of like we're babying them so
right.
that way they can go home and try and do the right thing but come back again because they don't want to do it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
Yeah.
so my point is the parents set rules. The kids don't like it. What do? They run somewhere else, and it's just an
you,
evolving circle.
so I grew up. Um, okay, my parents came from another country. My parents came from another country, and they do not use rules in the house.
Oh,
There's no such thing.
mine either.
No.
Right. So the Europeans raise their kids differently than they do here.
I can say that firsthand, being Portuguese.
Right. And me
Yeah.
too.
Portuguese.
So yeah.
72%.
So if um it was mother and father. So I had the mother and the father, and they, my father took his responsibilities seriously. He did not drink. He did not get drunk.
Nope.
He went to work every day, wanted us kids to go to school, We did what we had to do because we had good role models. Okay, my mother and father. Then my mother ended up going back to work. Same thing. Okay, we saw the same thing. Work, go to school. Don't worry about this, that, or the other thing. Even though we all did end up getting jobs while we were in school, but this was high school, not when we were younger. We got jobs. So, and school, you gotta go to school, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, you're gonna go to college, you're not doing this, this is how it is. That's how it was, all right, within my house growing up. There are no rules.
Well,
When,
most of the, go ahead, I'll let you finish.
so, as an example, and maybe Eric, you experienced this too, I don't know. But as an example, my family and uncles would make their own wine.
Yep.
Okay. In Italy, that's what they did way back when. And then my father did the same thing. We made our own wine. I didn't like it, but that's what they did.
I know how to make my own wine too.
So we saw wine on the table at a very early age. 5, 6, 7, when you start realizing things. I saw wine on the table all the time. And you get to a point where it's like, I want to taste it. Okay.
Of course.
And so they let us taste it. Just a little bit, and I never liked it. I did like it when they would put like 7-Up or ginger ale mixed into it. Okay, but straight, I didn't like it. But in this country, that's not allowed.
Right.
That's not allowed. You cannot. The kids have to have their alcohol when they're an adult, 18 and above. While the parents are drinking in front of the kids, and the kids are like, I want to know what that's like. And they're like, no, you can't. You're not an adult. And they don't. And what happens? They go nuts.
Yep.
Right? They go nuts. In college, some of them, not all of them, some of them, all they do is drink. In high school, all they do is drink. Drinking parties everywhere.
Let me tell you, Annalisa, me and my sister, we used to steal our mother's cigarettes and our father's, believe it or not. Okay. And let me tell you, I'm going to tell you exactly, I'm not shy. I don't give a kid who's fucking listening. So, my sister and I, we're always in cahoots, together all the time. And, even though we fought, we didn't get along, but we're always like this. And she used to tell me, "Hey, Dave, you know what? Hey, I've got a pack of cigarettes over there." And I used to say, "Well, Dad's got a pack of cigarettes over there." I said, "Look," if we take cigarettes just from Mom, then she's gonna know that we're taking it.
Right.
So we have to take from both packs. So you take 3, you take 4 from there, and I'll take 3 from over here. So that way they don't know. So one day that we did that, we kept on doing this for a little while. And so I thought we're never gonna get caught. All right. I said, all right, let's keep doing it. So we used to take the cigarettes. We used to go smoke behind what do you call it? The cellar on Robin Street. We lived in the great houses over there. We used to go smoke over there. And one day, my cousin come around the corner. He goes, "Hey," he goes, "Where'd you get the cigarettes?" I go, "Nah." I says, "Well," I said, "Look," I said, "Hey," I said, "I got some." I said, "You want to smoke with us?" I said, "You can smoke with us, okay? But as long as you keep your bloody mouth shut, okay?" So one day he goes, "Ah, sure." So he started smoking with us. Then, but we went back to the house and we didn't know what was going on. So we didn't know what our parents were up to. So what we did was we we saw a pack of cigarettes. They had them just the way they were as we saw them the first time. So I said, "Look," I said, "you don't grab any cigarettes this time because they're gonna want to know what's going on here. So I'm gonna grab them this time." So just before I put my hands on, just before I had my hands on on a pack of cigarettes, my mother goes, "Oh, it's you that's stealing them." So I said, "Wait a second." I said, "It's not only me." She says, "Well, who else was involved?" I says, I said, "Well, my sister was involved too." "Well, we didn't see her touching the cigarettes. We saw you." So they said, I said, "So what's going to happen this time?" Well, we're going to sit you on a table, and you're going to smoke cigars, since you like to smoke." So my father went out, bought cigars. He said, "These are Colombian cigars." He bought Colombian. He said, "You like Colombian cigars?" And I'm like, "I don't know, man." I said, "Oh God." so, so I said, "What the hell do?" I said, "What the hell did I get myself into?" Well, he said, "Look," he says, "Colombian cigars are good." He said, "But since you like to smoke, I got you Colombian cigars." So I'm sitting there. He said, "Now take the cigar, bite the back of it off of it, put the cigar in your mouth, and you light it up. And you're going to smoke the whole entire cigar until it goes down to the end." I said, "But what happens if I burn my mouth or something? I mean, doesn't that count?" They said, "Well, don't let it go all the way down, but you're going to smoke it since you like to smoke." So I was smoking. And he says, "After you're done smoking that cigar, you're going to light up another one. You're going to smoke another one." So I smoked two cigars, and I fucking puked my fucking ass off. Okay, all over the floor. Okay,
I
and I
taught you
said,
not to smoke again.
"Yeah." So I said to myself, I said, "I ain't smoking no more." I says, I'm not even going to steal cigarettes anymore." That's how bad it was.
Well, yeah, that's how my household was too. And Lisa, mine was just about the same as yours, except my mom stayed home. My mom stayed
Yeah.
home, and she taught us how to cook, do laundry,
Yep.
and clean the house. And my father worked. He
Mhm.
started off working construction, and he worked very hard. He worked his butt off.
Mhm.
And so we always had that mentality of keep the house clean, go to work,
Yep.
come
Go to
home,
work.
everything is all set, and you'll be able to
Right.
sit down and enjoy the
Yep.
rest of your day. You know
That's
what I
right.
mean? And
Yes.
that's what this world is missing.
That's right. That's my
Columbia
point,
cigar.
Aaron. That's my point. Because you have, and I'm not saying, the way the Americans. I say that because I'm a first generation. Okay, so you see the differences. You see the difference between how the American culture is and the European one. What is this about? Cuban cigars are considered the best in the world. JFK even bought
Damn,
1,200.
Jabe, you could say
Hey,
you
hey,
consider
Well,
Cuban
I
cigars.
heard that too. I think
Dave knows because you smoked two of
I know. Hey, look at James. I
Colombia.
know. I smoked two of them. I puked
them.
my guts up
So
after.
the way the cultures are very different, and it is missing. Dave was talking about how he grew up and what he saw, what happened to his mother, and the drinking. There's just no. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. But again, like in Europe, kids are brought up with the wine. They see it. They're brought up that way. They don't think it's a big deal. It's
Right.
not a big deal.
That's how
Have
I was
they?
brought up. I tasted the wine. I
Yeah.
liked it, but I didn't drink it all the time. And then
Right.
I saw my dad drinking a beer. He goes, "Oh, you want to try it?"
Yep.
I'm like, "Yeah." I took a sip. I threw the thing. I said, "I don't want that anymore. I don't like that." He
Me
goes,
too.
"Really?" He says, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, there you go." I didn't touch a beer until I was 22 years old.
Right. I still don't like it.
And that's how they raised us to be.
That's right.
And and now in my household, okay, there's no beer allowed, there's no wine allowed, there's no alcohol, there's no smoking allowed in my house.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's how. And you know what? President Trump is the same. President
Okay.
Trump, when he had his kids, there was no drinking and there was no smoking.
Exactly.
And even with Barron, he says the same thing. You're not going to drink. You know what? They listen to him.
Yeah.
They
But I'm
listen-
not
they
gonna
listen-
say I'm not gonna say I did not try a couple of drinks here and there. I'm not gonna say I didn't. I have. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
And I didn't-
I did too. But the point is that you don't get it doesn't consume your life, and it becomes a problem where you cannot go to work anymore, or your family is not being taken care of. I mean, having a drink here and there is not a big deal if you can control yourself. But a lot of people
Right.
end up being alcoholics even when they start trying a one or two. And President Trump said, "Don't even try it because you could become an alcoholic."
Right.
Can.
So he's like, "Don't even try it. Don't even
Then
go."
it-
He doesn't drink. He doesn't
and
drink.
then, and then you have a gambling habit. You know what I'm saying? Then later
You could
on,
get
then
gambling habit.
Well, and that's the other thing.
Gambling habits.
That's the other
And-
thing. In these European countries, like Annalisa said, we make the wine, we make the alcohol. So we're so sick and tired of making it. What makes us want to try it? We don't want to try it at that point. We're so sick of it.
That's right. That's exactly why President Trump doesn't drink, is because his brother ended up passing away and being an alcoholic.
Right.
Yeah, that's exactly why he doesn't. I think Biden even abstains from drinking as well. He should, because he's a mess anyway in his brain. But
I mean, Biden doesn't need to drink. You know what I'm saying? So
no, he doesn't. He's drunk all the time. Naturally.
he's always sleeping all the time. So why?
Yeah, that's just a natural thing. That's how he is. It's natural.
Yeah. So the Europeans, like Eric was saying and I'm saying, it's a very different culture where kids grow up with the alcohol. And I remember when I was 12 years old and I went to my grandmother's house, the very first time she let me try Sambuca. And I'm like, no, I don't want it. Oh, no, try. So she gave me this little glass with a stem on it. It was puny. And she put a little bit of that. She goes, try it. And so I'm like, okay. So I tried it and it was sweet. And I was like, oh, that's good. But I only had that one little sip, but I didn't go nuts over it. What the Italians do is put it in their coffee.
Right.
And they put it in their coffee. So sometimes, not when I was younger, but when I get older, I would put like a teaspoon of Sambuca in my morning coffee. And I remember telling somebody that, and she flipped. And I'm like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, it's a teaspoon of Sambuca. I'm like, what's the big deal? She, like, oh my God, you drink. And I'm like, having a teaspoon in your coffee means you drink? See, do you see the perception and how different it is?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't think it was a big deal. I'm like, I don't get it. Like, what's the big deal?
Yep.
But
that's how my grandfather was though. Like he would let me try wine or he would let me try something else, and he would say, "Don't tell nobody." And now I know why he said, "Don't tell
Now you
nobody,"
know
because
why,
if you tell
right.
somebody, you get in trouble.
Right, and I didn't know that because you think everybody is raised the same way, but I learned later on. Wow, they're not brought up the same way. It's very different. Where another thing that they do is have sleepovers. We never had sleepovers.
Oh no,
Are you kidding me?
we have to be in the house for dinner.
Yeah, and we didn't sleep over anybody's house, not even my cousin's house. We didn't
I
have
used
that.
I used to have to be in the house. I used to have to make the table and help my mother bring the food out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, I
They're
remember
very, very old school Portuguese.
You know, I don't even think that that's old school. That's just normal. You're supposed to teach kids these things. They're supposed to know these things.
Yeah,
Okay? I mean, in American households, they're called chores,
right.
where each kid is designated a job. And it's kind of like the same thing. But if there's nothing like that in the home, the kids are wild.
Oh, of course. My dad used to do. He used to tell me all the time. He used to say, "Eric, okay, you have chores for every day. At the end of the week, if you did all your chores, I give you some money. You
Right.
save your money and you buy the things that you want with it.
That's
That's
right.
it."
Well,
That's exactly. We didn't
well,
get
I
paid.
well, well. I used to help my grandmother all the time, and because my grandmother always used to say to me, do you want to come over to my house, and do you want to like sleep over or something at my house? So I used to say, yeah. I said, well, I'll go over. She said, because I'm afraid, I don't want to stay alone by myself. So
Mhm.
and so my father's mother always asked me to go over. So I go over her house. I stay over there, and sometimes I'll say to her, "But do you really want me to move in? I'll move in with you if you want." I said, "I can." You know what I'm saying? She goes, "Well, I'll think about that." So, well, I went over the house. I stood there. She said, "Well, we're gonna go shopping tomorrow. If you want to, if we're gonna go shopping." So one day I went shopping with her. And then I asked her, well, Bo, I says, you know, I said, there's a dance coming up. You know what I'm saying, at the PAO. I says, and I need I need $22, so I can get a ticket. So she said, well, she said, if you want money, she said, you have to help me. So I said, all right. So I went shopping with her, and got the groceries. Help her. She gave me $22 to go get a ticket to go to the PAO. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where I like to go. My grandmother basically taught me the value about money. She taught me how to work for it. She taught me how to, she taught me how to work for it. She taught me how to, you know, um, go out and earn it. You know what I'm saying? Basically, even if it wasn't from her, you know what I'm saying? She would teach me that. She would say, hey, look, but she said, when you get older, she said, you can go out there and go get a job, and whether if you're washing dishes, pushing carriages, or sweeping the streets, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You
well, see,
will.
you're lucky, Dave, in a sense that you had a close knit family. When you have a close knit family, the kids are different.
Right.
They're different. That period. They know responsibility. They understand the limits. They know the social rules. They know all these things. They know they got to go to work to make money to do the, But when you have kids, like a lot of them now are in the schools, there are a lot of them that come from divorced parents. They're remarried. And some of them are fine. I think some of them are fine, but others, there's only the mother is around. There's no discipline. If she has to go to work and then the kid comes
Yeah.
home and there's nobody there to make sure that they do their homework or chores or whatever, and the mother is too pooped, she comes home, she doesn't want to hear anything, she's just tired and goes to bed and doesn't even know what the kid is doing. This is where you get the problems. And they
Okay,
go to
the kid figures, well, my mom comes home from work, uh, grabs something to eat, takes a shower, goes to bed, doesn't
right,
even engage with us. So
right.
that gives them a lot of freedom
That's
go
right.
out there and cause chaos
And
whenever they
do
want.
whatever they want because there's no discipline. There's nobody watching over them. Nobody
Yep.
makes sure that they're home. Like with you, Eric, you have to be home and you got to help me do
Oh,
this.
of course.
And you know,
And you know the fact that me doing all those chores, you know the outcome of that. I used to go to my vavo's house, okay, and my vavo used to be sitting down on the couch, and my vavo used to be in the kitchen cooking, and I'm like, okay, what the hell do I do? So I start picking up a broom. I start sweeping up the floor. My vavo goes, Apple, what are you doing? I said, I'm sweeping the floor. He goes, you don't do that in my house. We do that in my house. I said, well, this is what I'm taught in my house, so I'm gonna do it. My vavo comes around the corner and goes, hey, let the kid sweep. If he wants to do a chore, let him do a chore. You're gonna pay the kid. And that taught me responsibility. That taught me, to do the things that I think is right. And look how I turned out. You know what I mean?
You didn't turn out to be a rotten kid, that's for sure.
No,
You turned out to
exactly.
be a good kid, right?
Right. And that's what this world is missing. 100%.
it is.
There's no parenting like that at all anymore.
No, it's hard to find, and it's hard to find, because we're the first generation immigrants. We saw, at least I did. I saw my parents, work like very hard. Not,
Oh,
I
of
mean,
course.
not like slave labor. I'm saying especially my father, getting up every morning at 6 o'clock to go to work. He didn't have a car. He had to take the train. 12-hour days practically, right? And finally, after a while, we had our first car, and it took a long time to get a car.
Yeah, I witnessed the same thing. Yep.
Right. So you see these things, you are observing all these things, okay? And what we saw and I saw was a guy, my father, going to work every morning.
Yep.
When
And
I was,
he didn't complain once, did he?
never said anything. Nope.
There
He
you
never.
go.
Hey,
My mother.
same here with my dad too. When my
Right.
dad worked for Sealsack, you know what I'm saying, company.
So,
same thing with
and my mother stayed home and made sure we came home after school. The bus picked us up. She expected us in the house after school. You're going to do your homework while she prepared the dinner. She didn't say anything like, you have to help me. No, she didn't do that to us. We had to do homework.
Yeah.
She didn't bother us with that. Even in elementary school, we went to a parochial school, so it was a little tougher. And so I went up until 6th grade until it shut down. But the point is that education was a big deal.
Right.
Education was a big deal. And when you go to a parochial school, it costs extra because you're not going to a public school. It's not the same thing. So my mother didn't work. My father did. And all three of us went to a parochial school until it closed down. That's extra money, all three.
Yep. Yep.
You know
And
what?
that was like, I was so thankful for my father. When I got my first job, I used to come home all the time. I used to complain about other people not working as hard as me or things not being as well as it should be. And you know what he used to tell me all the time? Keep your head up, do your job, don't worry about anybody else. Because that's what he did when he came here from Portugal. He worked his ass off and didn't care what anybody else thought.
Right. And that's the same thing with my uncles.
Yep.
They all worked like dogs. They really did. They had their own construction companies and they work. They never stopped on the weekends. I'm telling you, it was unbelievable.
Yeah, it's nuts.
The way they worked, it was unbelievable. My father was a little different. He worked for somebody, and he was a pattern maker for
Okay.
women's clothes. So he was not the type to be in construction. Like, he wasn't that type of a guy. So it was a little different. For us, it was a little different. Whereas, for instance, my cousins, some of them, not all of them, had their fathers that worked very hard, but the mothers did stay home. But they had a little bit more than we did because their fathers, a couple of them, made good money doing what they did.
Right.
So, and then you had the others that worked too that were not as well off, but did the best that they could. They still ended up buying a home. So these kids don't. A lot of these kids that are troublemakers, that only have a single parent and the discipline is not there, and they don't even care if they hit a teacher. They don't care about anything. It
Oh yeah,
starts
the school count calls the parents, and the parents don't even they
right.
don't even blink.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And that's
Well,
how they get this attitude.
well, James says parents just let their kids do whatever the hell
The
they
hell they
want.
want, and that's
But
bad.
the hell they want. I'm glad that my dad wasn't that way with me. If I was misbehaving, he would give me hell for it. Yeah, I remember James telling me that.
Yep.
And
I only ever did that once. I only ever raised hell once. And that was when I was like probably 5 years old. I never did it ever again. He raised holy hell on me.
that's what I'm saying.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. That discipline with the man being in there changes it all.
Of
It
course.
does.
Yep.
Unless you have a mother that's very, very strong and can do both.
Oh,
But when the
my mother was something else too. She used to hold her own with us
right,
kids too.
so but a man, yeah, but a man is definitely different. When there's a man in the house and they do what they got to do, the kids usually are like, I better do it or else I'm going to get in trouble from my
Right.
boss. Yeah. It's
Oh,
it's
it makes
it's
sense.
different. It's different when there are two parents, and it's just different when there's a mother and father in the house and the kids are being taken care of, and the parents are doing what they got to do, and they're teaching the kids to do what they want, what they need to do as well. They do come out better. They come
Right.
out
Well, I mean,
for the most part. For the most part.
I've seen some. I've seen some kids. Okay, only listen to get what he wants. So I mean, I've seen some kids that way too.
Yeah, there are those type
I
of kids,
don't.
but that's when you gotta actually control your kid. You gotta sit them down. You gotta let them know that there's consequences for what they do.
Well, I mean, but again, I'm saying, and I've talked about this many times. Kids have to obey the law in the house before they can obey the law out in society. I'm saying if they cannot obey the law inside the house, okay, and how they expect to obey the law outside? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to tell you, society does not play. Society is not going to care about you or anybody. Okay, if you're out there and you're causing mayhem out there and causing all kinds of trouble out there, you know something? There's no questions asked, no questions about it. You're going to get locked up and you're going to get punished, and that's the end of it.
Well, these kids are not used to that, Dave. These kids are not used to being in a home where they're being watched over, and if they do something wrong, they're going to get punished somehow. They're not used to that.
Right,
They
and
don't know it.
that's what me and Annalisa are trying to say. They don't have that
Right.
parent in the house that's gonna actually be like, okay, now you're punished. Now we gotta
Right.
take this away, or you're gonna choose your own punishment. And if it's not good enough, then I'm gonna set the rules for you.
Well, what we got to do is, you said it perfectly, Eric. You took the words right out of my mouth. That's exactly what I was going to say. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you took the words right out of my mouth. Go ahead.
That's why there are so many issues with these kids. I mean, I've seen, now we were talking about discipline when we were growing up, but now I don't see that. Okay, the parents are bringing up the kids differently. What do you want, honey? You want that? Okay, I'll give
Yeah.
it.
Look,
Give it to you.
what
You
do
want
I
a
have to give
$200?
you? It's what do I
Okay.
have to give you for you to actually do the right thing? That's how they parent
Oh,
nowadays.
I want. Oh, mom, can I? Mom, I have an old Galaxy phone and I need an upgrade. And mom, would you pay for it? If mom says no, the daughter runs right to the father automatically. Dad, mom does not want to pay for my upgrade on my iPhone. I need $500. Could you give me $500 so I can get an upgrade on my Galaxy phone? And then automatically, sometimes the father will say, instead of
The
saying,
father isn't going to give her. They're just going to go and do it, Dave. They're just going to go get them an upgrade. They don't have to give them money to do it.
well,
Yeah, see,
usually,
Dave, that's what me and Annalisa are saying. Though, when we were growing up in the European family, if your mother said no and you went to your father and your father says no, it's a no.
It's a
Okay.
no.
Or
that's
if your mother if your mother says no and you go to your father and the father goes, "What does your mother say?" and you say no, it's a no.
It's a no.
Straight
Mhm.
on. There's no baby in the kid. There's no nothing.
Nothing.
yeah. Well, not
Yeah,
today,
it's
ain't.
not like, but that's not what's happening now, though.
No,
That's not
that's
what
not.
I was. I'm watching these YouTubers. They're very popular. They're a young couple. She just had her second child. The first child is 2 years old, and they gave her a birthday. You should have seen this birthday party. I'm like, what the hell is that for a 2-year-old? This
That's what
is
he's master birthday parties.
this is how the kids get spoiled.
And
At
how is that kid supposed to? How is that kid is supposed to remember at 2 years old a big huge birthday party like that?
that, well, I right, but the thing is, the next year's birthday party, what's that going to be like? 4 years old, what's that going to be like? Five
Yep.
years old, what's that going to be like? They're going to remember at 5, 6 years old these huge. I mean, this party. I don't even know where they get the money because I just don't understand it because we didn't have anything like that.
No,
It
No,
was
I didn't have
exactly.
something.
it was a
I
party
didn't
at
have
the
anything.
house. That's what it was. A birthday cake, and we listened to music and we danced, and that was the end of it. All right. It was none of this. We're going to go
Wow.
outside to a restaurant. You're going to invite whoever you want to. We're going to have this, that, and that. We're going to have a theme. Blah. That never existed.
No, in
That
our
didn't
time it didn't.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It didn't exist in my family. We didn't have any of that stuff.
I mean,
And,
I
and
was
I'm
looking.
And I'm
But
looking at this 2-year-old's birthday party. I'm like, what? I was flabbergasted. I mean, it was nicely done, but I was like, oh, you should have seen the cake.
man, I never got a cake like that.
I'm telling you, it must have cost $1,000 or something like that for that cake.
Wow.
It
You
was
know,
it
my
was
parents, when it was my birthday, they would bake me a small cake. They'd go out, they'd get me a couple pairs of shirts and socks. They'd say, "Happy birthday, kid." And that was
right,
it.
and that was it.
That was it.
Exactly. This little girl, there. I mean, like I said, this couple, they're adorable. The girl is adorable. The little girl, the newborn, they're a great looking family. But I don't know where they get the money. Okay, I'm like, what in the world? You should have seen. They picked this place where they do these kinds of things, and outside, I'm telling you, the letters must have been 4 feet high. They were so huge. Happy birthday, 2-year-old or whatever. Okay, with balloons all over the place, pink and white balloons all over this happy birthday sign. I'm like, and this was outside, and I'm like, what the hell is inside?
Yep.
I go in, they go inside. They set it up like, you should have seen what they had, the way they set it up. I mean, I was just like, wow. They
It's
do
insane.
professional photo shoots with these
Hey,
kids.
Annalisa, you know what gets me with all that though is once you start to get to the age where they start remembering this, they expect it from you every
That's
year.
right. That's right. Exactly. If this little girl, okay, if the parents continue doing this to them, which is spoiling her, really, If they continue, when she's old enough, she's gonna want to have a guy that's gonna be like her father that gives her whatever she wants, practically.
Exactly.
You're gonna have a problem.
Yep.
You're gonna, the kid could come out unruly.
Yeah.
It could. Well, no, you know what I'm saying? Because, um, do you want it? Yes. Look what I got her. You should see the things. I mean, they don't skimp on anything because when I was growing up, like you said, you were lucky you got something.
Well, yeah.
Okay, this couple doesn't skimp on anything. I'm telling you, they don't skimp on anything. The girl, the family's got what they want. They got what they want. They have what they want. I don't know how they do it. I wasn't raised like that. I admire them for it, but I don't get it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, it's crazy. I remember times where I used to come home with my brother and my sister, and my sister used to tell my father, "Oh, my friend got this. My friend got this." My dad
Right.
used to say, "Oh, that's great. Now go out, work. I'll give you some money, and then you can go get it."
Right.
He used to tell us all the time, "You want something? Go work for it."
Oh my gosh. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a very different world. Let me tell you.
Yeah,
We
no,
come
my dad was a comedian, but he knew how to lay the line down while he was being a comedian. That's for sure.
the immigrants, the legal ones, that is,
Yep,
they don't
Yeah.
have that much. They didn't have that much. They don't know anybody in this country. They don't know the language.
of
And
course.
so they know what they got to do. They got to go work to earn to, survive.
And that's the thing, though. Like,
That's it.
I'm not gonna say I'm grateful for being poor, but it gave me an experience that okay, I came up from nothing, and I had
Right.
to work. We had to work our butts off to be able to have what we have. So now I
Right.
can teach my kids. Hey, listen, I came up from nothing. I have to work for everything that I have. But
Right.
just because you have everything doesn't mean you should go out and flaunt it.
Right. That's right.
You
It's
know,
very different. Yep. It's very different. Like, this
there's
next
a
generation.
There's a famous soccer player that plays for Portugal. His name's Cristiano Ronaldo. I'll never forget what he said to his sons. He said, "Just because your daddy's a millionaire because you play soccer doesn't mean that you get whatever the heck you want. I want you guys to go out there. I want you guys to work just as hard as I did to get
Right.
everything I want. I will be here to help you, but you need to work
Right.
for everything."
That's right. I
And you
agree
know
with
what?
that.
There are a lot of very wealthy people like Joan Crawford that left nothing for her two adopted children, for
Oh, of
instance.
course, yeah,
There are some that I think a little too much. Madonna right now is the same with her oldest. She's telling her, "I'm not giving you anything. You're going to go out and work,"
yep,
which I think is a little cruel. But, she has so much money. You could help her out, but she doesn't. She
yeah,
doesn't. No, because nobody helped her. She's another one that came from, like immigrants. I don't know if she's first or second generation.
yeah,
Well, she didn't know anybody. Her father didn't have any connections. Like Taylor Swift, though, was different. She did.
Oh
She
God.
she had a little bit more connection. It was a little different, but
Yeah.
Madonna didn't have anything. A lot of these famous musicians and even actors and actresses really came from nothing.
Yeah.
They came
right.
from nothing. They came from nothing. Poor. They were poor, and they worked their butts off.
Okay, so are we going to talk more about politics now? Because it's already 8:57, and you know the time. Once that alarm goes off, that
Well,
means it's
right.
time.
Well, I mean, I think it's good to have that conversation because
Yeah.
a lot of kids and people don't understand
Yeah.
where the legal immigrants and what
Yeah.
they do, and people have their own things to do as well. But it's different. It's a different culture. It's a different culture.
So now, what do we say to these? What do we say to these young kids at the end of the show? Okay, what do we say to these kids? What advice can we give these kids so that
We
way these
can't give it to Dave. We can't give it to the kids. It's the parents that have to do
well,
something.
okay, all right. So what do we say to the parents? You know what I'm saying? What do we say to the parents at the end of the show? What advice can we give the parents at the end of the show?
They know what they got to do. They're adults. They have children that wherever they are, elementary, junior, or middle school or high school, they know what they've got to do. You're better off getting them when they're young. Okay. If there's no discipline in the home, that's the parent's fault. That's
Yeah.
the parent. That's not the kid's fault. It's the parent's fault.
Yeah, because you can't expect your kid to go to school and get discipline.
No,
You
right.
know what I mean? The teachers are going to be like, well, first of all, the parents aren't doing anything at home. Second of all, I can't
Right.
do anything to control the kid. The only thing I can do is talk to them, comfort them, and see how everything is at home.
Right.
That's it.
That's right. Right. That's
Well,
right.
a lot of
It's-
a lot of times, the teachers, the principal, or if they cannot control the kid at home, it's either they're calling DCF, they're filing complaints against the parents because there's
Well-
no
Well, if it's bad, if it's bad, Dave, yes, of
Yeah,
course
well,
they
so,
have
yeah.
to.
And then on top of that, what do you think happens to the kid? The kid gets all shaken up. They get messed up because now they're with the state and they don't want to be there. They want to be at home with their families.
Right.
So it comes from the parents first.
Well, that's why they
It
have.
is. It's the parents, and you know what? There are young girls that get pregnant, 15, 16,
I've
13,
seen it. I've seen it.
14. Right. And I don't think it's the norm, luckily, but it happens. This is what I'm talking about when there's no discipline. They're not looking after the girl or the boy. The boy takes advantage. They take advantage of these girls that are looking for love because they don't have it in their
And that's
home.
another thing though. These young people are getting pregnant and stuff like that, and they're having kids. But you know why they're doing it? It's because they know if they have a kid, they can get onto food stamps. They can get on to get the money because they don't have jobs and they're only in school and they're getting free money.
They're taught that. They see these things. They're taught these things.
Okay, now my show is already over. It's 9:00. We can continue this conversation next week if you like, because this is an interesting conversation, interesting topic, I think we should continue on discussing this. Maybe we can get the make a difference with it. Who knows? Maybe if parents are listening to my YouTube channel, and they can take this and use this as for an advice. You know what I'm saying? To help their children. I mean, I don't know. So we can continue this conversation next week, Friday. Okay.
Yeah, even James comes. The Azores, I think, are Portugal.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yep. That's Portugal.
she moved to the U.S. with nothing. They all did. They all see, but when they came to the U.S., the opportunity was here.
Right.
Like now, you got to know the language. The factories are not here anymore. They got to go to Walmart. They got to go to Burger King. They got to do all these things, and sometimes you have to converse with the client or the customer, and they don't know how. This is a big problem. This is another big problem. The language. The illegals really have it bad, and I don't feel bad for them because they should come here legally like everybody else did. So,
All right. Okay, so we can continue these conversations next time on Friday. Annalisa, we made an agreement that 9:00 comes, boom, because we left our show go like for 2 hours. So, and I'm not doing it again. So,
yeah, you're coming on tomorrow, right? I gotta go on
Uh,
my phone if you're coming on to
yeah.
mine at 10 o'clock.
Yes. So,
time.
all right. So I'm going to be on for a little while on yours. So, and we're going to, and then we can continue on talking about that too, if you like. Too. I mean, unless you got other things you want to talk about.
No, we're gonna talk about something else.
Yeah. And then
Well, we
we'll,
can talk about a lot of things, but this is
yeah.
about the family and how it
Yeah.
has changed and how
Yes.
kids are different now. And
Yes.
I saw a post where this girl in school, I think high school, beat up a teacher, punched a teacher because he took the phone away from her.
Yes.
This is crazy. This is
Yes, it
crazy.
is. It is. It's nuts.
Crazy stuff.
So,
All
but
right.
anyways, guys, Eric, you have a great night. And thank you for coming on. We had a great show, and we can continue on these conversations Friday. And
All right,
Bye,
anytime,
Eric.
brother.
okay,
Anytime.
Nice talking to you
Okay.
again. See you
Yeah.
guys
So
later.
it's
Good
all
night.
right. Take it easy. Have a great
You
night,
too.
Eric.
Bye
And
bye. You too. Bye.
you too. Bye bye. We had a great show tonight, and we were talking about families, you know, how families need to discipline their kids. You know what I'm saying? Because you have most families that that go out there, they work a full-time job. Some families work a 3 jobs, you know what I'm saying, and and they don't have enough time to actually deal with the kids, you know what I'm saying. Sometimes they're just like, okay, you know what, yeah, hey, mom, what's for dinner? Mom, what's for lunch? Oh, it's in a microwave. I mean, and it's hard for them because most of these kids come from broken families, divorced families. Most kids, come from foster homes. You know what I'm saying, and things like that too. You know what I'm saying. So, but anyways, we had a good show tonight. I want to thank James for watching again on YouTube. I'm going to try to fix my YouTube channel and put my Facebook back up there. So I want to thank everybody for watching. This is Dave Mead for River Media News. Thank you all for watching and have a great night and happy Thanksgiving to everybody and Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And let's hope in 2026 we have a great year. So take care, everybody. Have a great night.